triple kill, but Son of Finn, he'll deny the plant. He sees 2 more kills. Oh my god! Son of Finn will find more!
7 seconds left, they gotta pick up the diffuser, but Tommy lines up both! Tommy with the 1v3!
Device, misses shots, he's gonna have to go for the front. He pushes on through! Dylan is better!
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off, and they all line up for Bone!
Hello everybody, welcome back to the quarterfinals for SCS Season 5. If you're just tuning in now, you missed an amazing set where we saw the underdogs, ex-Synthetic, also known now as Biblioteca, beating out one of the T3 giants of the entire Siege scene. Aerial Rise no longer going to be making it now, it's going to be instead Biblioteca moving on to the semifinals. Luckily for all of us though, we have a whole nother set to see tonight. It's going to be PDHM against Team Mystic tonight, and I'm your host, Keglanek, and with me of course are going to be some beautiful other casters as well. But before we get into everything else, we have to wonder, how did we get this far and what amazing things can we see go up ahead? But hello Jazz and hello Lynx, what's up everyone? You vibing out, Lynx?
Oh yeah, I'm just chilling, you know.
Vibing?
I get a cast, you know, I get a cast players like Whitlock, I get a cast Surreal Nardis 98, like it's a good night. It's a good night. Got some
Every
good
night's a
talent
good
on both
night.
teams.
Absolutely. But Lynx, you're just joining us tonight. Adam, you have been here all night, and you know that's a lot of energy you're putting out here, and I thank you for it. But Lynx, just coming into this now, what should we expect to see from Team Mystic against PDHM right off the rip?
Well, I mean, coming out from Team Mystic, I mean, again, this is the team, you know, they haven't dropped a single map in the regular season of SCS, and they have some giants on their team. I mean, you're talking about Aerial Rise of the Giants at T3. 2/5 of that roster being Gunnar and Whitlock has on the team, and they have been tearing it up inside of SCS. So what should we expect? Well, those 2 players alongside the other 3, we should be expecting some pretty high caliber play coming out, at least, you know, I would hope so for playoffs.
Absolutely, and we're going to only see the best caliber of play here. We're going to be going to the bracket now and seeing really quick what exactly has the journey been for both of these teams. We're already going to start off with the quarterfinals. We see PDHM against Team Mystic, but down below, right below, we see Aerial Rise losing 0-2 to Biblioteca, who have moved on to the semifinals. Of course, the lower end of the bracket, we don't know as much yet. Honor versus Smokebreak is yet to be seen, and Aggro versus Bone, also unknown. But we do have the leaderboards to see who the champions of the season individually have been so far, and I think we'll all be pleasantly surprised by all the breakdown of the different stats. Look at that, guys. Top rating gonna go to Gunnar at a 1.38, and we're gonna be seeing him tonight, Adam.
I mean, we always talk about these 2 players, Gunnar and Whitlock. They're always on top of things. Gunnar being the top rated player of all of SCS Season 5, with also the highest KPR, 1.15. Stunning. Completely above Maxley, who I don't think is playing for Smokebreak anymore. He's on Synthetic, but when he was playing, also put up some great numbers, but I mean, there's nothing else to be said about Gunnar and Whitlock. They are just the best players in this league right now. They are helping Mystic push up this lossless streak. They have literally not lost a single thing. Not a single map dropped in this best of 2 group stage sort of setting. See what they can do on playoffs where they have, you know, a Challenger League team to go up against. Now, given Challenger League teams have been known not to really try in T3 leagues, and this might not be any different. We might just be seeing more domination from Mystic. Again, they've just been unkillable. They have not bled whatsoever.
Absolutely. Now we're going to be going to the rosters now and seeing who exactly the breakdown of the teams are going to be that we're going to be seeing go up against each other tonight. Carter, we already saw in those top stats, most of them already dominated by Mystic. Are we going to expect to see much more of a dominance tonight?
Well, I mean, that's always the question. I mean, as Adam said, PDHM, they are a CL team. They're not going to be giving nearly as much away as if, you know, there's were CL playoffs or something. But that isn't to take away from the players on their team. Their ratings might not show up, but players like EXO, Raffi, WAV, Prompted, I know that's 4/5 of the roster, and Subarctic being that final 20%, but they can all play extremely well to a high caliber. They have a lot of individual talent, and compiled together, they're a force to be reckoned with when they want to be. On the side of Mystic, similar situation. They're just showing it a bit more in the stats. Gunnar, Whitlock, Feltwinder, Rexv, Zeno, especially those top 2 in Feltwinder, you can see by the ratings, they have been some of the standout performers, not just on Mystic, but in SCS. So even if PDHM might not be throwing the entire scrapbook against the wall for this match, if they're choosing to shoot straight, and even if they're not playing the most coordinated or strategic, they could still pull this out if their aim is true.
Now, Carter, the number one thing that sticks out to me on these statistics is the round differential for Mystic being plus 34, and quite the opposite for PDHM's side.
Yeah, again, it's a similar situation with PDHM. They're not trying to show a lot, and hey, sometimes when you're playing that when you have strats and you're choosing not to show them, you can suffer in the round differential. But for Team Mystic, they're a T3 team, and that isn't a diss against their skill. It's just their players are still underage. They're not able to be in CL, so they're at more liberty to throw at least whatever semblance of a strat book they have. And they are probably going to be trying a bit harder because this is the main league they're playing in, as opposed to PDHM where it's CL. So that isn't to take anything away from Team Mystic. They have shown to be an incredibly competent, to undersell it a bit, an incredibly competent team inside of SCS. But you do have to keep that in mind. But then again, a plus 34 round differential is still pretty ridiculous overall. So they're an incredibly powerful team that PDHM are going to have a difficult time reconciling with.
And going up against both of these teams tonight, of course, we do have the maps to see. Look down below onto the screen. We're going to be seeing which maps are going to be played in the best of 3. And Adam, Carter, I think we're in for a major surprise tonight. Carter, why don't you walk us through maps 1 and 2?
Yeah, I mean, Consulate Coastline getting banned. If you're either PDHM or Mystic, both of your teams can, well, especially PDHM, since they're probably not going to be playing as strat reliant of a sort of plan, getting Consulate and Coastline out of the way, while it can be an equalizer of sorts, when you're fighting players like Gunner, or if you're Mystic, you're fighting players like WAV, like Raffi, not having to worry about a map that is so focused on frags, you want to get those out of the way when you're either way, you're going against a team with excellent fraggers on both sides.
Absolutely. And Adam, we just saw a previous series involving Clubhouse as the first map. What do you want to see differently between these two teams than the first one we saw tonight?
Well, if I wanted to see something different, I wouldn't be casting Oregon, but it's whatever.
We don't get to choose. We don't.
Villa is going to be intriguing, however, because it is shown to be a very powerful Mystic map, and honestly, given that PDHM have left this up, they might not be the winners whenever it comes to this map ban. I mean, Villa is just stunning from Mystic, and Oregon, it's default, it's standard, and Mystic are a standard team. They just play around their players more than they play around their strategy. So a map like Oregon can really fare for them, but with PDHM picking it, they obviously have some sort of ace up their sleeve. They have their Maverick players. I forget who plays them all the time, but they definitely play Maverick a lot. So Oregon's definitely going to be a little bit easier for them. And the rest of that is just going to come down to gunfights and gun skill, in which Mystic, I mean, right now, we can't undersell them. Whitlock and Gunner are just crazy players. Sometimes, you see the Felt winners and the Xenos as well scoring big points, with Rexavy sitting behind his, hard support. So this is going to be tough for PDHM to break it. But if they can get an Oregon, we could actually be seeing quite a good series.
Ooh, I hope we do see a good series. But speaking of which, we have been saying so much, hyping up both teams here, but we have the predictions from this staff side of things on SCS's side, and holy, we're seeing all red tonight. But remember, we all also voted on Aerial Rise, and we saw what happened there. Carter, walk us through, why did everybody here select Mystic?
I mean, why did everyone here select Mystic? Plus 34 round differential, Gunner, highest rated player. Whitlock has survived over half the rounds he's played. Those are just some of the few reasons why we've picked Mystic. I mean, again, say what you will about PDHM, Mystic, they've shown to be an extremely powerful team so far in SCS. No matter what opponent they come up against, whether they're second in the leaderboard or dead last, they've shown to just have a willingness to throw teams aside and give them an absolute thrashing. Again, they have not dropped a single map. We might be saying that a lot, but it's an impressive feat no matter what league you're in, especially with teams like PDHM, like Honor, and teams like Aggro, who have come out of nowhere, and to still be this high on the leaderboards. I know Aggro is in a different group, but hey, you get what I'm saying. Why do we pick Mystic? The question is, why would we not pick Mystic to a certain extent?
I think it puts you in a unique position, Carter, because you have the experience to see PDHM go up against tier 2 caliber teams, and while Mystic may be in that same boat, they're still playing in the more amateur leagues of Siege. Are you expecting to see a different, almost threshold of play, a different style going between the two different leagues?
I mean, it's without question. Going between T2 and T3, you're going to see a different style of play, especially when you have a T2 team that is currently in CL playing in a T3 league, because they're not going to show as much. So what kind of style of player we're going to see? Well, it's T3, so this is sometimes par for the course, but we're definitely going to see one that is much more reliant on individual skill, playmaking, fragging out, even on the side of Mystic, where they're probably going to be a little bit more strat heavy since this is the main league they're playing in, but they themselves are a lot of the times reliant on, making those big plays. That's not to call them uncoordinated or, solely reliant on that, but it's a big factor that they have with how much star power they have on their team. So that kind of style of play, it's not going to be as reliant on strats, and it's definitely going to be reliant on who gets those opening frags and who's able to get the man advantage as early on as possible.
Very interesting. And it makes me wonder, Adam especially, do you think we will see map 3? We might think Mystic will take it all from the predictions, but are we going to see map 3?
Map 3 is interesting because honestly, whenever it comes to who won the ban phase, I would say Mystic just because of that second map. But Oregon's a toss-up. Oregon can really go anyone's way. So if PDHM, if they can play their standard, if they can play the best that they can with the resources that they have, obviously they're starting out on attack, so it's not going to be favorable for them. So far, Oregon and Club have both looked completely defender-sided from what we saw last game. I mean, it's a different game, but still. If that trend does continue, PDHM, they're going to be on the back foot. They're going to be pushing against the tide. And I think that that first map is going to basically decide how this series goes. If Mystic win on Oregon, there's no doubt in my mind that I could also win on Villa. But if PDHM win on Oregon, we could be seeing Clubhouse very, very likely.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see how that all goes down. We're going to have to wait a few extra minutes, though, to get the lobbies all set up and make sure everything is all squared away for map number 1. We're going to a teeny tiny break, but don't worry. We're all waiting in anticipation, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. We are back again, but the game has not started just yet. But don't worry, though, because we're here to fill in the time and make sure it's a great ride until we get started with map number 1. But again, we have to keep in mind, too, is that the possibility for map number 3 could be very slim. Carter, walk us through that again. Team Mystic, have they lost any maps yet?
I mean, no, they have not lost any maps, and moreover, like Jazz mentioned earlier, Adam, as I like to call him, because he's such a good friend of mine. Yeah, please wave to the camera, Adam. Please introduce yourself.
Hey.
That's Adam. So, as Adam said earlier, Mystic are incredible on Villa. I mean, Villa is one of their maps tried and true. I mean, even before Mystic, players like Gunnar, he was notoriously strong on Villa for such a long time, on Aerial Arise as well, and we talked about earlier how dominant of a team they were up until very recently. So, map 1 of Oregon, that's where PDHM need to stake their claim, because if they win it, we could very well see a map 3. In fact, map 3 is almost certain. But if they lose that and go into Oregon, it's going to take a monumental effort for PDHM to throw Mystic off balance or even take their best map, or one of their best maps from them. So that's why map 3 is pretty slim, is because map 2 is one of the team's best maps, and PDHM throughout the whole series aren't going to be showing as much if they were in a normal like CL match.
Interesting. But Adam, you also mentioned how a lot of CL teams traditionally in amateur level play don't really show off as many of their higher level strategies in this level of play as well. Do you think now that it's been revealed inside of Challenger League, PDHM will bring out the full guns against Mystic?
I mean, yeah, they can certainly run their defaults and they can just do their own thing, but like, we're not going to see anything too special from them. It's not something that we've never seen before, because they're not going to pull out all the stops whenever it comes to their, their strategical play. It's going to come down to their physical play. It's going to come down to the gunfights that they take, how they isolate ones, and how they play as a team, because that's all that we're going to see out of PDHM most likely. I mean, we saw with Supernova, who, by the way, didn't make playoffs, to many people's surprise. They weren't really trying that much either. So they're kind of in the same boat as PDHM, but PDHM have made it way farther. I wonder if this is the end of the line, however, or if they're going to be going ahead in the winner's bracket. A lot of us predicted against it because Mystic are simply looking too strong.
Absolutely. And if we follow that train of thought, that same line, do you think there's a reality where we could see Biblioteca against Team Mystic and Carter? If so, who's going to come out of the semifinals?
Well, Mystic versus Biblioteca, I would still definitely give the edge towards Mystic because of how strong they look. That reasoning can be kind of fallacious, but it's just what I personally believe. And when it comes to Biblioteca, no disrespect to them, but Aerial Arise, not only have they looked much weaker in recent history, that game especially was one of their weakest that I've seen in quite a long time. So at least for me personally, I'm still yet to be fully sold on the Biblioteca train. That isn't to say Aerial Arise are a bad team. They have a lot of great talent on that team. Woods, Og, Axe especially is someone that people, once he turns 18, think is going to be an easy CL pickup for any given team. There's a lot of talent there. But Aerial Arise also lost pretty strongly on Clubhouse, one of this new iteration's better maps. And it was not even close in many of those rounds. I think it was, maybe a 7-2, 7-1 at the end? I can't exactly remember. I was in class during the time. But Biblioteca, while it was strong, I still need to see a lot of proof. That certainly helps. I certainly believe in their chances. But this match, if Mystic looks strong, I don't think they have a good shot. But if Mystic look weak, and we go to map 3 and it's close, Biblioteca might pull off an upset.
Keep in mind, too, if Team Mystic looks weak, Adam, this will be the first time they drop a map in the whole season?
Yeah, that's the big thing. That's like the big takeaway. It's like, are they really going to drop a map, or is it just going to keep on going? They are currently 10 maps to 0. 2 of them went to OT, and 8 of them did not. So it just goes to show the dominance we've seen here from Team Mystic. And as you mentioned, what was it, plus 30 on their round
38?
differential? 38? So nearly
34.
It was 34.
34.
Hitting 30 on your round differentials?
It's absurd. It's absurd.
That's crazy. That's mind-blowing. That's downright stupid. So, yeah.
Well, 78% of everyone will agree with you guys that maybe Team Mystic can take it all, but there's only one way to find out. Adam, Carter, ready to begin map number 1 between Team Mystic and PDHM. Let's see who comes out on top. Good luck and kill it out there.
Thank you, Maxwell. It's been a pleasure. And Lynx, you've casted PDHM. I think we know what's going to happen here. They aren't going to bring out all the stops, but honestly, Mystic, man, like, it's just going to come down to them. Mystic are going to most likely be in control of the tempo for most of the game, but if PDHM can squeeze out this Oregon and make Mystic lose their first map in SCS history, could be looking good for them.
Well, you know what's not looking good?
Ooh.
It's Thatcher Mav ban
Yeah.
on Oregon. I thought we were done with this. I thought we all collectively agreed that we didn't need to do this anymore, but I guess not. So that's your Mav ban. That's going to suck for the attacking team because those cage charges that get put on hatches often and who has now just been banned. Yeah, if you don't have a Thatcher or Maverick, you likely 9.9 times out of 10, that's 99% for anybody who's doing the math, you're not getting them off. So taking off or getting Cade off the board is a necessity at that point. Valkyrie as well, coming out last, she's been a much more common ban recently. Used to be only on maps like Consulate or Coastline, but now on maps like Oregon, Club, Villa, much more likely to be taken off. So whether it's fortunate or unfortunate for you, these bans are pretty standard. They all work out.
The thing is that we're going to be seeing a lot of Mute plays. Mute is probably going to be one of the most powerful operators in this entire game. And the main reason is your only way of clearing it out is with destruction. And, well, without a Maverick, you can't exactly toss your nades in as fluidly as you'd want to. You're going to have to stick it through doorways, through hatches, through all that. And in most cases, those are either reinforced or just ADS'd. So once we see that, which actually we aren't because they're going to be going basement where they're just going to be hard holding, most likely. They're going to have E-box wall open and be peering into pillars. They might have a bunker hold, all the usual, considering they have a Goyo and a Mai. But that's the thing. Not only does Maverick provide, that Maverick trick where you can open the wall all by yourself, they also provide for easy access for grenades. Once you burn ADSs, you're able to basically throw your nades wherever you want to with Maverick, but now you can't. You're going to have to play your nades around areas in which PDHM aren't going to be too comfortable with, but we aren't going to be seeing the Mute just yet. No wall denial, as a matter of fact. They're just going to be, again, just holding bunker out with shields and with angles.
Yeah, I mean, on a site like basement, hard breach denial is, it never hurts. It's not the kind of thing where you're like, crap, I can't believe we brought hard breach denial. You're never going to say that to yourself. But on a site like basement, the main thing that's going to get open are those hatches, and I would say, if you're talking about a wall, I'd say like single panel wall, for example. Those are the most commonly open reinforced walls. And aside from single panel, those hatches are going to get open no matter what. But especially now that they're not bringing in hard breach denial, that single panel being open is inevitable. So even if you bring a Cade, you bring a Mute, you're only stalling about 10 to 20 seconds. You get open no matter what. So, like Adam said, you want to focus more on holding those power positions, whether it's the smoke with the shield inside of bunker, or Feltwinter on the Jaeger likely holding pillars, though right now he's taking his position on top of T1, holding those big tower stairs, watching that double door to see if anybody makes an entrance over in this area. That's going to be your main focus, is holding those positions and angles and trying to deny the attacking team momentum that way. Now, whether or not Feltwinter will successfully deny Matt, who's currently making his way through Attic, only time will tell in the first minute.
PDHM are not going to have too many things to go up against. They're just going to have to drone this out and realize that really the only off-site player, if you will, is Whitlock playing over on Freezer Stairs. But that's not an oversight that you should be just shaking your head off of. That is a very aggressive position. Whitlock is playing in a position where if he wants to rotate out, he's going to have to go down a long hallway. And Gunner just swings up to Subarctic, who is met by a hailstorm of bullets to his head. He goes down. I'm going to assume his air jabs were placed in time, but still, losing a player like that in a position where he is just not refraggable, because, you obviously don't expect something like that. Mystic, already up on man count with half the round gone. That is really insane.
Yeah, I mean, losing Subarctic, he was going nuclear in their CL game the past week, or at the very least, he was one of the better performing players. So getting him off the board the first, or in the first minute and a half, not the best thing to see. Also, the way Gunner just brazenly peaked that kind of sets the pace and sets the tone for the kind of plays we're going to be seeing for the rest of the game. Rappy slowly alt-walking down laundry stairs indicates further the kind of style we're going to be seeing. This laundry angle it's hit or miss. Somebody solo pushing this can be easily picked off. I think I've seen this play fail more times than it succeeded, but when it does work well, it can demolish a defensive team's lineup. And right now, nobody's paying attention over to that area. All 5 members are stacked somewhere on this northern side with nobody really watching laundry control, save for Zeno holding an angle all the way from Freezer, and even then, that's kind of stopped by the wall. So if Rafi were to make a push in, it could work, but no, he's still upstairs. He'll rotate back up, push with the rest of his team. A much more advisable position. Exo on 50 HP. Everyone waiting for the drop. He'll now fall down. It's a 3v5 with 20 seconds left, but the Freezer push comes out. It's moved to a 3v3. 2 on the floor. It's Rafi left in a clutch. And effectively 1v2. Feltwinter loses a lot of HP as well. Moving into E-Box. Picked back up the diffuser. Might catch him off guard, but no, the pre-fire is better for Feltwinter on this go. Mystic looked kind of shaky towards the end, but for a first round, not a bad one to start things off on.
He said, just setting the pace of basically how this entire game is going to go with one aggressive play there, one aggressive swing from Gunnar. And yeah, this one is already going to be a bloodbath of an Oregon, especially with the Maverick band. You can't play as precisely as you'd want to if you're PDHM, so you're going to have to get your hands dirty. And there's a big oversight actually on my end. Mira is up. That is insane. Mira on Oregon has got to be one of the best operators in the game. Hands down. It's how old Oregon was played, and it's how new Oregon is also played. This is going to be a treacherous time for PDHM if they can't get rid of those mirror windows, whether it be from verticality or whether it be from grenades or other forces. But again, no Maverick. It's not going to be easy to push up into this attic. You're going to have to use your hard breach utility from the Hibana and the Hibana alone. So in most cases, with only Hibana being brought, it means that you're only going to go for a single push. And that depends on which one that's going to be. Are they going to push into attic using their Hibana pellets, or are they going to push into closet? I mean, it's a decision to make, considering that you aren't bringing an ace or you aren't bringing a thermite to assist yourself in this push. It's only Hibana. She doesn't have too much power to open a lot of walls. She can open entryways by only using 8 pellets, but closet's one of those things where you want to open it a bunch so you can get lots of line of sight and pressure. That's the entire reason why you push closet. So we're going to see how Prompted works around this. Obviously, there's a lot more flexibility now that you can choose how many pellets you want to shoot, but I mean, is that enough? That's the question. PDHM looking like it is going to be a closet take as everyone has spawned over on this side. They won't be greeted with much resistance as Armory is clear and everything from that area is as well. But when it comes to resistance, the only thing we're going to be seeing from Mystic is a lot of swinging. A lot of swinging, as we saw last round in Oregon.
A lot of swinging, and one of the key things as well is, in conjunction with that Mira, Whitlock has now switched to the Mew. Not only will that provide some of the dreaded hard breach denial with no Maverick or Thatcher on the board, getting those black mirrors is going to be a lot harder to deal with, but it's also going to deny intel depending on where Whitlock has placed them. And one of the issues PDHM had last round was stalling out on that attack, only making an execute with about 30 seconds left, and Exo will be on the unfortunate end of a wall bang, coming all the way from Big Tower into Armory window. That's a common angle with the intel on default, or really any foreseeable intel on there. Z-Ping comes out, you send a couple bullets down range, and it'll usually find about 50 HP on one attacker. And unfortunately for Exo, you have to be the unlucky one to bear the brunt of that force from Feltwinter. He'll rotate back up and come dangerously close to the attacking team inside of Classroom. And Whitlock is there as well, aiming close by with some support, gonna play for the shotgun or C4 down below. So Feltwinter can be happy there's some there for support, but if they're not careful, support will catch them. They won't be alive very long if that's the case.
Got quite the aggressive cross, but no one has made that move into Z just yet. They're waiting and biding their time as PDHM are slowly starting to make this push go. 4 pellets left from Prompted, and you can see most of them has been expended on that closet wall. Trying to kind of stay out of line and stay away from the mirror window, but yeah, that mirror window, man, that's going to be really tough if PDHM push directly into it, but it's looking like it is just going to be a straight closet take, and here comes Weta, just pushing into Bolo, but immediately flashed out by his teammate and also shot at from the mirror windows, and he's actually gone out alive, which is really shocking. Feltwinter and Whitlock pushing into Z, and guess who's waiting just around the corner? Subarctic. He's so patient, but he could walk away with the play of a lifetime. Whitlock knows something, however. Here comes a swing. Whitlock is spotted, and Whitlock dies, but Gunnar and Rexaby each claim a kill. Their own, 2 for Rexaby and 1 for Feltwinter. Surreal Artist, 98, also known as Exo, the last player remaining in a 1 versus 3, with Case all the way on the opposite side. PDHM are simply lost. Mystic, they're looking to keep themselves on a complete win streak, not losing a single map. What a way to do it, by taking not only this round, but the round prior. It's going to be 2-0 for Team Mystic.
Appreciate Exo's best attempt right there to get a nice exit frag, but unfortunately for him, Mystic do in fact want it more. So he won't land any shots as a result. You won basement, you won dorms. Now we can expect Team Mystic to try and complete the 3-piece and go for one of those tertiary bomb sites. Will it be meeting kitchen, or will it be kitchen dining? That is the question. We'll be meeting kitchen. More standard affair on Oregon, as it's the preferred side of many people. And for what went wrong the past couple rounds is likely what could happen a third go in a row. PDHM, though that did seem a little bit quicker than last time with them pushing in a 5v5, they still stalled out towards the end. WAV tried to make an entry on the Zof in through Armory, spotted one over by White Stairs, didn't land the shots, got flashed by his team, had to rotate out. Miraculously, he came away from that alive and still at 100 HP. Don't know how that happened, but he can... Whatever god he believes in, he should thank him after this game for coming away with that. But it still stalled them out. That was clear like it was going to be their main entry, whether or not they were going to storm in after him or they were going to find a pick and work off that. That pick never came, and he was forced on out by his own team. And as a result, a 5v5, about 20, 15 seconds on dorms. Yeah, that favors the defense every time.
5 seconds remaining.
This is an interesting sight in the way that it is played, and you know, I personally don't like it. It's a very boring sight. You kind of just sit inside a tower for 2 minutes and look for your best chance. But maybe we'll see something different. It looks like PDHM might be going for a lobby push. No, they're gonna be clearing top floor. Very standard stuff here. The reason why you want to clear top floor is not for the verticality, but it's for the verticality that Mystic could be playing. You don't really need to force people out of kitchen. Nobody really plays in kitchen. You can play inside. Well, you do, but you can also play inside of service. Or sorry, not service. You can also play inside of security. You mostly play upstairs, and you also can play inside a meeting. You don't typically see someone getting forced out of kitchen and running for their lives because they have an easy way to rotate out. So, Mystic, on the other hand, however, looking like they're having a very aggressive way of holding this. You can see that the pit wall is completely soft. Now, I don't know if this is on purpose. I don't know if this is just like they don't want to expend resources on it, or if they just simply didn't expect this push to happen. Felt looking for a frag. They're nearly hitting that head, but PDHM are just starting to get away with this push. The thing about this is that you have 3 players upstairs, so if you're PDHM, you gotta expect refrag after refrag. The wall from pit will get opened by Zeno, however, and he'll get away with a kill from Rafi, and guess what? He's out of there like nothing ever happened. Exo also getting lit up here. He's really stuck here, just getting shot at from everywhere. PDHM, I mean, you can see the pressure being applied. Subarctic, beautiful push there into Z. C4 by Whitlock, however, will claim a kill and even things out, but Gunner, with the FMG9 of all things, takes down Subarctic. It's a 2 versus 3, and while PDHM have gotten control of the top floor, at what cost have they gotten it?
It's certainly been a large one, or at the very least is a tall order to come off of this and somehow manage to maneuver their way into an execute. They have cleared out that top floor, and that's one of the parts I was worried would be troublesome, and it appears that it has. With a minute left, they still have a frag grenade on the side of Exo, and both impact and concussion lifelines on the side of WAV, but their man count and HP count collectively is not exactly strong, and it certainly is dwarfed in comparison by the side of Mystic. Zeno's also holding the hole made inside of Attic. Likely where both Exo and WAV would try to push from is now being held on a tight angle by Zeno. So if they get caught off guard by the Malusi, which I'm sure they will, though maybe WAV has a bit of intel over to where his position with him aiming down range. Either way, that could be a big problem. If they don't choose to go that way, they could rotate down wider Armory, but then you have Gunner and Whitlock waiting with open arms. Zeno will make his play, try to catch one of the attackers off guard, but only one still upstairs. It's WAV the Zofia holding the hatch on top of Kitchen, but instead he'll drop. Both are down below. Gunner's got a hole in the wall, and Whitlock has got a straight line and a bead on Exo. And for what it seems right now, a bead on ending this half as flawlessly as possible.
Yep, Mystic look absolutely stunning. They have their strategies on lock, and they're playing their refrags and playing their crossfires. That's what we see from Mystic that makes them so dangerous, is that no matter what you push into, there's always going to be another variable that is pushing you away. This time around, it was Whitlock and Gunner. We always talk about those 2 names, Whitlock and Gunner. I mean, they are brought up in literally every conversation whenever it comes to the best T3 players in NA right now. And we also can't discredit Zeno. A huge play inside of Attic was him getting that kill and safely rotating away, albeit he died later. But the fact that he was just able to get away with his life and kind of stall more time while the rest of Mystic were also holding upstairs, that's incredible. Incredible stuff there from Mystic. And their cohesion is just simply something that you can't overlook. Like, they are constantly with each other. They're constantly holding each other's backs. Like they got themselves unlocked. There's always a refrag around the corner. It's dangerous. And PDHM, they're pushing directly into Mystic's strategies. I mean, it's a concoction you don't want for PDHM. 3-0 on the defense isn't too much. It's, it's Oregon defense, but it's going to be really scary whenever you have to try and climb back once PDHM hit their defensive round.
5 seconds to insert.
Yeah, that coordination on the top floor, the Malusi blowing up that soft wall, I mean, that's commendable for Mystic so far, using their surroundings to their advantage, taking the attackers off guard, which so far has been the bane of PDHM's existence. Mystic have completed the perfect cycle and going back down to basement. This was definitely the site that at least seemed until the very end to be the most trouble for PDHM. It's the one they took the longest to actually manage to get down to that bottom floor, and then in the process lost a very large amount of bodies, and nothing really seemed to work all that well, except getting a couple kills towards the end. It's the same setup coming out from Mystic. We have Feltwinter playing early on those big towers, trying to destroy any drones that come his way. So, right now, Mystic are playing it the same. It's incumbent on PDHM to make up for the mistakes they made earlier. It'll start by not getting picked off by Gunnar early on, and thankfully WAV won't get picked off early by Feltwinter, unleashing a hellfire of bullets all the way up through that hatch. Thankfully won't hit him, and Raffi and WAV can both take solace in that fact as they try to take Pillars control, but now they have to worry about Zeno holding a standard angle behind Pillars, but one where if you're not careful and you get a bit overconfident, you could find your head removed from your body before you have a second thought.
Gotta be careful. Mystic are one of those teams where they just swing everything whenever you don't expect it. Like you said, they just could lose your head at every moment. But PDHM, they're making this one pretty slow. Actually, I say slow. They've taken top floor control with a minute gone. Pretty standard stuff. Good start from PDHM as they'll open up the hatches, including E-Box. Now, question for PDHM is, what are they going to do next? What is their course of action? Because right now it is looking like a tower push, but with a strategy being brought out by Mystic, not only it's pretty default, but it's very aggressive. You have a shield playing inside of pillars. Sometimes whenever you are playing on pillars, you don't go with the shield. Sometimes you just go in bare, go in raw, but right now they're bringing out all the stops to make sure they can hold this. They even got Feltwinter playing inside of blue, but he might lose his head. He's got to be really careful as he's challenging WAV over in barrels. I hope I'm saying that right. Is it WAV?
I've always said WAV.
Okay,
that's what
perfect.
I've said.
I want to make sure. I'm sorry if I'm disrespecting WAV. I can't disrespect Surreal Artist either, but Rexaby getting pushed out here. Raffi's trying to push down. He'll just jump onto Rexaby. He'll claim one, and he'll claim a second. This execute has worked out so well for PDHM, as Raffi just gets away with freebies. We usually don't see Mystic falling like this, but Prompted will take down Zeno. Gunnar takes down yet another. It's a 2 versus 4. As Gunnar coming in for the swing. He wants to look for any sort of equalizer that he possibly can, but he's got to be careful, or else he might lose it. Here comes a swing from E-Box and Prompted with a second. It's all Whitlock in a 1 versus 4. C4 over to E-Box. Won't make its mark here. Raffi pushes in, but Whitlock gets away just in the nick of time. In a 1 versus 4, however, and with the crossfires being established by PDHM, they aren't overextending. They're playing this clinically. Whitlock. He's got so much to work against here. His defensive strategy is going to work against him as Raffi takes his third. Aggressive push there from Raphael, and it all works out. I got really confused by the BDS player. That's my bad.
Don't worry about that. I mean, hey, Raphael works well in the final seconds. Raffi got his kill in the final seconds. There's some overlap there.
There is.
But PDHM, the way they've been playing Oregon so far, and the way they especially have tried basement, it's a very linear map. Not a whole lot of dimensions you can really do. That lends itself for executes sort of reliant on getting that opening pick. And, well, the way PDHM have been playing, it's especially been reliant on your entries being successful when you actually get into sight. Didn't expect it to come from Raffi vaulting into Harry Potter and then somehow killing 2 people without being punished. Hey, but that's what gets you killed sometimes, and that's what worked for PDHM that go around. Last time, the E-Box/Big Stairs push didn't work out. It was shut down pretty quickly, and while they were able to get some trades, it still went the favor of Mystic. That go around, Raffi managed to just, almost like Ezio from Assassin's Creed, blend into the crowd, slip by unnoticed, and before you realized 2 people on your team was dead, you had lost Pillars control, and for Whitlock, he's in a 1v4 with little to no recourse. Is that the kind of strategy that can work every time? Well, if PDHM are able to reproduce those entries more and more, whether on this round or the next, and whether they're from Rafi or EXO or anybody on the team, then sure, they might end this half 3-3. But it's an inherently inconsistent play style if you're reliant on your entry showing up, especially when for 3 rounds in a row, they were noticeably absent. So this could work for PDHM, but they're going to need to keep that momentum going and keep catching Mystic off guard when they least expect it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has been dead silent across the board, other than those entry players, and especially Subarctic as well. Good flank watch from him. He's been doing pretty good, getting himself some kills. But yeah, other than that, like whenever you rely, like you said, on those entries, you just produce an extremely inconsistent attack. But PDHM can make up for it. They are only 4 rounds in, and they've got a lot of work to do, but it seems like they've got their basics bolstered down. They're going to be going for the exact same push as they get themselves inside of Armory. Felt playing in this exact same position on the window this time around. Going to be taking an aggressive stance. Mixer's got to be extremely careful with how he handles this. This hallway can be a death trap, but Feltwinter does rotate away. Mystic, in general, nothing out of the ordinary. We've seen this exact same setup multiple times before, not only on this map, but also from other teams. PDHM wastes no time getting open this closet wall, and again, that only leaves them with 4 pellets, so the only thing they can do if they want to go for that attic push is make a prone hole. But other than that, pretty clinical from PDHM. They'll clear... Oh, I don't think they got that shield, actually. They're looking to get the shield inside of attic, but that'll do the trick. There it is. But, I mean, it's Gunner. He's going to swing this either way, so you have to be careful if you're PDHM. Mystic will swing this if they have the chance.
Now, that's one thing I have to commend PDHM for on their Dorms attack so far. When it comes to opening up that bedroom wall and setting up in a great position for an execute, they managed to make it that 80% on this side of the map, but overall, they tend to falter, and they'll start to falter right off the bat, or at the very least in the final minute 30 seconds, with Whitlock finding a kill onto Subarctic. Again, a player that over the weekend had a pretty solid go at it, but this go around, he's got the 2 kills, but for the most part, he's been silent, and losing not only your flank watch in the Nomad, but your flank watch player in Subarctic, you gotta be much more careful, but Wav's aim is true. He sees true as well, except maybe his aim isn't as such. Whitlock finds his head. That's the second for the Mute in the round so far, and PDHM find themselves in a familiar position. Map control, but not necessarily with the amount of bodies they would like to hold it and build off of it. Rafi and Exo both standing at trophy doorway. Meanwhile, Prompted at the master bedroom wall could go in for the execute, but Gunner's still inside of attic. Not only is that a key C4 position over the wall, it's a key angle onto Prompted if the coverage isn't true, but he's been downed by a nade. Xeno finds one, Rexby finds a second, so that down on Gunner isn't looking nearly as impactful as it could have been. Prompted, the man with the diffuser and the hard support, the only one left. He's got a good gun with not a lot of ammo and not a lot of time, or a lot of angles. The defenders just have more presence and really more of everything. And now certainly they have more in round count, because they're 4 so far.
This is incredible showing here from Team Mystic. You would almost want to call it pretty standard from them. They have just been stunning all around, but at the same time, this is how they've always looked. They haven't changed up anything. Mystic are still looking absolutely insane, looking like the best team in T3 that we've, come to know and come to expect off the backs of Whitlock, Gunner, and sometimes Feltwinter. And Felt doesn't even have to really do anything right now because honestly, Mystic's strategy is just enough. Mystics they aren't swinging too aggressively, like as we kind of expect them to do. It's just PDHM are just playing directly into the strat that Mystic have set up. And it's a really good strategy as well because you have to play into it. If they're going for a closet take, you have to get rid of the shields that Mystic have set up. Eventually, you're going to be challenged by a player sitting inside a pit, or you're going to be challenged by a player sitting back dorms, and sort of this failure to adapt from PDHM or failure to realize that they're playing directly into Mystic's strategy also comes to help them. We talked about inconsistency as well, and that's definitely coming out from PDHM, showing that we don't want to see from them, but they could reclaim their glory in this next round. PDHM, a 5-1 half is terrifying, especially against Team Mystic, but a 4-2, it's salvageable. Let's see if PDHM can make this happen. It's very crucial that they do. Otherwise, it's looking very daunting as they move on, not only into Oregon, but later on in the series, where they have to play Mystic on Villa, which is just, it's Mystic on Villa. It's scary.
Yeah, a 5-1 half on Oregon is terrifying, but playing Mystic on Villa is a living nightmare for certain teams, especially in this league so far. But if they want to try to replicate their success on that second basement round, which was very successful because of the entry from Raffy, the roticism, it flares up when you least expect it. It's like the Spanish Inquisition. You think it's cured, then all of a sudden you're saying a Canadian's name, and the R becomes a W.
Waffy.
Waffy, Whitlock, Gunner, Feltwinter, Wexavy.
Wexavy.
Well, that didn't work.
Waffy.
Anyway, as I was saying before my childhood speech impediment decided to rear its ugly head.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's true. I had it for a long time.
I'm
Gunner will
sorry.
find the first kill on the
Something like
WAV, who has also, as he is a name that does start with a W, but taken a lot of L's on the entry so far. But if you do want to try to replicate that success of the second basement round, and helping Raffy get those entry kills, switching Subarctic to the Ying could work. Now, I was going to say all of that before they lost 2 of their bodies. Now, thankfully, they got a refrag onto Feltwinter, and a second onto Gunner as well. Now it's a 3v3. I feel like that Raffy and Subarctic point is much more valid, but it's still not looking great for PDHM, who have been shaky so far.
PDHM now 3-3. They've got the utility to work with. Obviously, Surreal Artist 98 not being alive means that you've lost your nades. That's the main thing. You still have Ying though. Subarctic on the Kendall is not a very popular operator for good reason. She's very inconsistent. You don't know when you're blinding someone or when you're not. And also the fact that there's just so much burn utility to get through in this game that sometimes it can be daunting to even get a Candela into place. And you can even shoot the Candela. So there's a lot of counters to it.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Xeno. Beauty of a shot there onto Raffy. He's one of the most quiet players on PDHM. But whenever we watch him, he just works magic. This man is insane whenever he's on that anchor roll. Like, that's the Xeno magic, baby. Here comes the smokes. Maybe burn utility. Candela's coming on out here. You don't expect to swing through it, but that is what makes Mystic so aggressive, is that they just swing through anything and everything. Prompted takes down Whitlock. However, Rexavy goes for 2. He'll take down Prompted, and Mystic take round number 6. We talked about daunting. We always harp on this fact that PDHM, in order to win this series, they absolutely need this Oregon. Well, it'll be 5-1. If there's any comeback that happens, roll the lottery, because there's a lot to work against.
I kept getting excited by the Ying pick, that maybe that would be able to regain some momentum. You know, incredibly aggressive operator. If your strategy so far has been to catch Mystic off guard, and that is how you won the only round you've won so far, that's certainly the way to do it. But it was another slow burn from PDHM, and whereas previously they would have that early bit of momentum, gain that bit of map control, but then stall out, that entire time they were just slowly moving over the map with seemingly not much progress being made. The only times they really were in a position to get kills was because Mystic got aggressive and they got taken off guard by PDHM, which is good. You do need to capitalize off that, especially when you're down in the 3v5 in that situation. But it's not enough to stop Mystic. Wasn't enough to stop him that round. Wasn't enough to stop him that half. And now that Mystic are on the attack, sure, it might be harder, but it's not going to be enough to stop them and somehow win, 6 rounds in a row, deny them overtime, or even in a certain case, win 5 rounds and manage to claim OT. They're on defense. It's the more favored side on Oregon, but you're going to need a lot more to stop the train that is Mystic so far. And PDHM don't appear to have even 50% of the effort necessary unless something dramatically changes in their mentality, their lineup, and how they're playing.
Yeah, it feels like I don't want to say a fundamental issue, because I actually don't, we can't judge PDHM off of this. I mean, this isn't Challenger League. This isn't their main sort of proving grounds. This is SCS. This is a T3 league. While PDHM, they're playing in Challenger League, But SCS is a lot of other teams' proving grounds. Mystic are simply, at this moment, fundamentally better than PDHM. And it can come down to many factors. But I don't want to harp on the fact that PDHM are in Challenger League too much. Because honestly, these are just a case of bad attacks from PDHM. They don't look too coordinated. They're getting refrags for sure. But whenever it comes down to that execute, that's when things really start to turn against them. Gunner's already inside of Trophy here. In an aggressive stance, and Subarctic He's got a nade prepped as, or C4 prepped as well. He hasn't ripped it. He's holding it right now. And what that means is that they're not going to have a sound cue for this. This C4 is about to just fly over this wall, and they're going to have no idea. But you have to wonder if he can time this correctly. And there it is!
Oh.
Subarctic not only times it beautifully, but takes down 2 in the process. What a way to start here. And Exo takes down Feltwitter. So, 4 versus 2, all while Rafi went down. PDHM look absolutely stunning now. I changed my mind. Subarctic with a beautiful launch of that C4. Perfection whenever it comes to how he threaded that needle. And now, this is the ground in which PDHM can start to build off of. This is the base in which they can start to work their way up and start taking these defensive rounds. But can they? Can they keep this going? Can they keep the momentum in their favor? Or is it just a case of the luck? But Xeno takes down Wav. Mystic aren't out of it just yet.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about Subarctic, I mean, often enough just ripping that C4, not even throwing it, is enough to scare teams from not only pushing, but vacating that area. Getting a double kill, that's above and beyond necessary. And he's still alive right now to try and make the most of his situation, so he's playing and doing his job perfectly right now, even with the loss of Rafi and Wav. And it is close to a 2v2, and Xeno and Whitlock certainly proving they're not out of it yet. They're certainly in the favored position, and to start things off after a week attacking half, they're looking much stronger. Whitlock will move in to try to get the plant down, and nobody's stopping it right now. They'll throw out a smoke, but it's a bit too late. It might go down successfully. Whitlock put on the floor. The life choked out of him. It's Xeno in a 1v3. He's got an angle on the plant, but surely they know where he is, and Prompted knows just a bit more than the Nomad does. Looked like it might have been a comeback from the Ace and the Nomad, respectively, but it's PDHM's first round in quite a while.
It's very important that they claim around here as well as PDHM. They haven't been looking up to par, but this is what they needed. They're on the defense. They're on the, more favorable side. This is where they can start to work their way up. So, we'll have to see if they can get their fundamentals back on track. We'll have to see if they can start to hold these crosses together. It's a lot easier to play defense in Rainbow Six Siege. Fundamentally, that's just kind of how the game works, but can PDHM make it work? We've seen what happened last, all the way over in the older series, Aerial Arise versus Biblioteca, which Aerial Arise, they had the more advantageous side, but they just lost the mental game. They kept on getting pounded by random, sort of positions where they weren't playing the best of Siege, and they also weren't playing the best of positions. You can't underestimate how much mental can, affect your team. And if PDHM can take this side and treat it like it's an advantage and keep their spirits up and keep their mental up, even though they're down 5-2, I don't think anything can stop them. But it's still 5-2. It's still a hefty scoreline to work up against. You still have to get 3 rounds against Team Mystic. That's a lot to ask for, and it's something that a lot of teams in SCS simply could not do. Can PDHM be the ones to do it?
It's a lot to ask for, to be sure, both in the grand scheme of things and this match as well, but if they're able to replicate the successes they had previously, I think they actually have a good shot. I think you'd probably agree as well. I mean, Subarctic playing inside of Attic, played that position as beautifully as you could, and now he's moving to smoke. On basement, another operator who needs to play his position to the best of his ability, holding inside a bunker behind that shield for as long as humanly possible, then rotating back and putting up that reinforcement if that's the hold they're opting to do. So putting Subarctic on that position, if the other members of PDHM are able to step up to the bat, just like they did previously, this could be good.
Oh.
Wab gets caught out early on, though, and if Mystic are trying to bring it back, that's certainly the best way. That's by no means PDHM's best player, and in terms of the operator losses, probably the least impactful, but it's still an early 4v5, 30 seconds into the round. You just narrowly lose Rafi, who's at 25 HP, has to rotate back, and instead he'll press his luck, push forward. There's an extension up top, so it's not the worst thing in the world. He'll still have support, but it is a bit risky, less so now that Prompted's even the score.
Good start here for, well, both sides. I would say that losing Wav, he hasn't been having the best of games, but that's an even heftier loss, as you've lost Rafi, who has been having a pretty good game, and he was also one of your primary runners, but with him now gone, PDHM basically have lost all of their top floor presence. Whitlock is going to take down EXO as well. And what is Prompted doing? Prompted, he gets away with Feltwinter dead. I'm really surprised that he was able to do that. And he's going for more. Prompted wants to win this clutch by making heroic plays, and so does Subarctic. They aren't going to wait for Mystic to push into them. They're going to push into Mystic, and I'm not sure how this is going to work out. Subarctic takes down Whitlock as well, and he'll rotate down the Freezer. It's a 2 versus 1, as Prompted takes down his third, and he drops Case as well. But Zeno, Zeno just looked away! Prompted with 4, and PDHM. That's a round that they should not have taken. We say that a lot. That is simply a round that they should not have taken at all.
Why did you stop looking?
The timing could not have been worse. That is insane.
Oh no. Why? Why did you do that, Zeno? Why did you do that? Oh. I got heartburn after that one. I gotta go to the ER. That hurt. Well, that's incredibly unfortunate. That is one of the worst cases of timing I have seen in quite a while. But it means PDHM, they get their second defensive round in a row. And, I mean, what do you say about that except good job to Prompted and
Attackers need to locate
good
and
job to
defuse as many
Subarctic.
bombs as
Just
they can.
making it happen. Should the Maestro have been holding that angle in a 2v4? Probably not. Should Subarctic have pushed up Freezer stairs in a 2v4? Probably not as the smoke. Was a play also necessary, or one of the easiest ways for them to catch Mystic or throw Mystic off their balance and try and bring the man count in the round back in their favor? Yes. So it might not have been the most advisable play, but sometimes the risky play is what is necessary to get the round in your favor. In PDHM, when you got players like Subarctic and Prompted, who the latter of which especially
5 seconds
has been
remaining.
shooting straight this game, sometimes you got to break conventions in order to win rounds.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I mean, yeah, you never see a 4v2 in which both of your players swing upstairs, and it's that sort of unconventional playstyle from PDHM, and that clutch that really gave them that. They went for heroic plays. They weren't going to sit by and wait for Mystic to pick them apart one by one. They wanted to take matters into their own hands, and it's a risky play for sure, but it's a play that not a lot of players can make. Only the strongest can, and that's exactly what happened. Amazing from not only Subarctic, but also from Prompted, as PDHM look alive, looking like they can sort of keep this in their favor. But Gunner on to EXO. Beautiful start there from Mystic. I feel like I should stop talking, bro. Like, every time I say something, there's some sort of caster's curse that happens. I'm talking about how PDHM are doing great, and EXO falls. Like, that's my bad. It's Prompted as well as looking pretty hurt, and as your smoke player, definitely should not be losing him this early on, especially to your own angles. Feltwinter, however, goes down to Raffi. This is aggressive SMG. 11 position, a beautiful shot there onto Whitlock, but Gunner trades out for a double kill for him as well. 2 double kills, a 3-3 here, and Mystic and PDHM on even footing, but with Prompted and Raffi on very, very low HP. These should be easy gunfights if PDHM make a mistake.
Excellent entry by Gunner up top. I mean, holding that angle down through security into kitchen, that basically cut the bomb site in half, and should Prompted have walked back into the crosshairs or tried to rotate back, that could have been the end of him. But at the same time, excellent job to Raffi for managing to rotate off and get away alive. Raffi is one of those insane players on the side of PDHM. He might be a bit more quiet right now, but if you're putting him in to fall off like that and try and get a kill on the way, he got 2 there. He's certainly the man to do it. Unfortunately for WAV, at least, Zeno on the flank watch has been lethal as well, and he will be for the Vigil. Now your only 2 players left on the side of PDHM. They're both doing extremely well. They've got 2 smoke canisters, a C4, and great guns, but they're both on 1 HP. The name of the game here is plant denial and wasting as much time as possible. Raffi will trigger an air jab. Rexy will go for the peek, but just a second too late. The C4 will go out just a second too early as well. He'll almost miss the shot, the Hibana will, but thankfully, Raffi gets away, and he better be blessing his stars for that one, because, again, they are both on 1 HP, and they have to clutch a 2v3. In case you're underestimating how important of a factor that is, and how dire this is, Now that Prompted's the only one left, I'm hoping you get the situation. He's trying to retake up top, but a drone will spot him. He's got to go back down and in a post plant. This is nigh impossible. He spots the head, downs the Hibana on the floor, but Gunner has up top, and Xeno is likely on the horizontal floor as well. Prompted will secure the kill, so that's at least a 1v2, but in 1 HP with the SMG-11 to try to take the long angle, and angle through a punch hole as well. That's an easy match stick, one that I'm sure PDHM are sad to have break their momentum.
Unfortunately, Prompted just spotted that punch hole in the very last moments of the round. But yeah, Mystic will break that barrier. They'll take match point. Now PDHM are certainly up in the sort of area you don't want to be. They are in a position where they absolutely need to play perfect siege in order to keep themselves up, and to play perfect siege against a team that has been nearly perfect so far this entire season of SCS, you can understand why it's a lot to ask for. So, PDHM, we'll have to see what they can do. They've had some stunning plays, especially from Prompted. He's been the star player for PDHM so far this game, while the rest of Mystic are basically sharing the stats. Pretty equal. They're looking very cohesive. But it can't be those star plays. You cannot have constant star plays. Again, I know this is that we're harping on something that we've already harped on before, but like you said, Lynx, you can't have your entry, or you can't have one player doing everything because you just look inconsistent. And unfortunately, I mean, I'm not going to be the one to say it. There are two people right now that aren't doing the best. They aren't playing to the best of their ability. And PDHM, they need a little bit of oomph in order to get themselves back into this.
Yeah, I mean, you have Rafi. What is it with me and names today? It's
just Rafi's name, dude. It's just...
It's like when I was casting Smitaceous when he was subbing in for Ape. Like, it just... My brain was halted whenever I had to get to his name, and Rafi is just... He's that way today, unfortunately. But Rafi's doing pretty well, but in terms of your more aggressive players, EXO and WAV, more so WAV. EXO is just... He's on Melusi, which can be kind of more aggressive, but you can also play her a bit more closer to sight. But without question, Prompted and Subarctic are much more of that anchor style of player on defense, and they've been having much more of a go at it because players like Av aren't showing up. So it falls on players like Prompted to try and pick up the slack. And when you're in an anchor like that, it is hard to do that, especially when Rafi, with the new run-out timer, sprints out of Big Tower to peek Armory window, finds that there's nobody there, but there are players in positions to exploit that, and in the first 30 seconds, you've lost your Mozzie, one of your 3 C4s, and a great gun on the Roni, and one of your more consistent players comparatively to other members that are currently alive right now.
Gunner's gonna back away. He knows that Subarctic has been dangerous on the C4 inside of Trophy so far, but yeah, that run out was just not it. And Rafi is gonna lose his life. It's a very aggressive attempt there. Nade's gonna bounce back. C4 as well, both of them exploding at the exact same time, but none of them landing a kill. And Subarctic has no more reason to play there anyway, so he'll back up and play inside of Kids, which is completely open. A new adaptation that we've seen on this new Oregon is that people are starting to open this wall in between Pit and Kids completely open at the bottom, and you can see why as Gunner loses his life here to Feltwinner. A double kill for him. Oh, actually, that was Felt underneath, taking down EXO. So Gunner's actually still alive. He'll climb out and make this a 5 versus 3. That's actually a really crucial revive. It keeps Mystic in this very, very convincingly. PDHM now in a 3 versus 5. Let's take that one look. And now Subarctic goes down. So 2 versus 4.
Make that 1 versus 4.
I'm trying to hand it over to you, and then will it be as happening?
Will it be a 0 versus 4? Well, no. WAV is at least feeling himself a bit more previously, but that's going to be his only one this go around. And that's the half. That is Oregon for Mystic, and in many of those rounds, it didn't seem close. And if you thought that was rough to watch, well, not only was that PDHM's map pick, we got Villa up next. But hey, we're not done yet. We still got to talk to Keg, figure out what's going on. What exactly happened? Well, I got 3 words for you. PDHM weren't there.
Nope, not at all. PDHM just did not look the part.
Prompted was, though.
Play the part. Prompted was doing great. Prompted was doing stellar for his team, but it's not a one-man show. It is a 5 versus 5, and well, you can't have those plays basically winning all rounds for you. That is very unfortunate, but you know what? It happens, and we're gonna chalk it up to a simple bad map. But I mean, thing about the series is you can't have bad maps. We all know what's coming next. We all know what is next on the docket after Oregon. We all know the faded Mystic map, the map that Mystic have been the most powerful on. It's Villa, and honestly, I don't see a world in which Mystic don't take Villa. It has been their strongest map by far in SCS. It's gonna be rough for PDHM.
Ooh, speaking of rough for PDHM, it looks like the streak keeps on going for Team Mystic, being able to not only take it flawlessly into the quarterfinals, but now potentially going flawlessly into the semifinals. Carter, you said it yourself, going to Villa. It's like peanut butter and jelly for Team Mystic and that map. And I don't know, walk us through it. What should we expect from that team?
I mean, Team Mystic Villa, I mean, a lot of what you saw in Oregon. Much more coordinated than PDHM, and players doing their best to show off their individual skill. You had Feltwinter on the Ashe, for example, who wasn't showing up much until that very last round, but pretty much everyone on the side of Mystic, even Rexby, the hard support, not to diss him, but he was even getting quite a few double kills here and there on those support roles. So what you can expect on Villa, Mystic working together as a team once again, showing off much more of their individual skill because that is their stomping ground. Now this will be really funny when PDHM inevitably 7-0 them on Villa and somehow blow us all to shame. But again, as Adam said earlier, the likelihood of that happening is not high.
Now, Adam, dialing it back for a second, comparing what we saw PDHM bring out compared to Aerial Rise on the two Oregons we saw today, was there much of a difference?
I mean, PDHM, I don't think they've been having a lot of miscommunication issues. That's kind of what we saw be the downfall of Aerial Rise. But whenever it comes down to their attacks, I mean, a 5-1 basically tells the rest of the story. PDHM were really weak on those attacks, and I get that it's Oregon, and especially Oregon with a Mira. I mean, that is tough. Like, I understand why they wouldn't be able to take those rounds. I mean, Oregon Mira is simply unwinnable if you're an attacker. So there's a combination of that, and they kind of started playing a lot less cohesive towards that defensive half, and they definitely needed cohesiveness because some of their players weren't up to the task of getting kills and being alive for that round. So it's a combination of both those things, but Villa's a new map, Villa's a new look. Obviously it's a Mystic map, but who knows?
Well, let's see if the cohesion flows directly into the stats. We have it all lined up here. We're going to be showing onto the screen shortly. Let's see what the stats have broken down here. Prompted.
Yep.
And Gunner. Look at those stats, especially Gunner. Almost a 2.0. Carter, have we seen a rating higher than 1.69?
I'm sure we have at some point in SCS. I mean, with the games Mystic have been having, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the highest ratings came from Mystic or came from Gunner. I know we've seen higher than that, but it's still quite a showing when you have a rating that high. But hey, shout out to Prompted for a second. I know we're talking about Mystic right now, but 1.54 after losing 7-3, 13-7 on Hibana and Smoke. The two Rexy was playing, and you can just see the difference in them right there. 0.99 compared to 1.54, 60 compared to 70. Now, you can probably chalk that up to the entries on Mystic doing more work than the entries on PD. You can still chalk it up to Prompted being a hell of a player as well.
I mean, Prompted, again, played a damn good game coming out of Oregon here, but EXO, a very underwhelming performance, 0.37 on the ratings, and has the sledge. Adam, that's not something we normally see on a soft breacher. What happened with EXO?
Yeah, EXO is not having the best of games here, and obviously it kind of played right into PDHM directly. I mean, they were playing a lot of positions where they needed teammates and where they needed cohesion and they needed to play crossfires together, but the fact that they were unable to do that because WAV kind of showed up later, but WAV and EXO, WAV and EXO, I mean, throughout that entire map were dead silent, and you can't be having that, especially on a map like Oregon where you need trades and you need to push together. It's rough. It's really rough whenever you play like that, but we can chalk it up to one bad map and see what happens next. I mean, man, gotta keep harping on it, man. Villa's crazy for Mystic.
Absolutely. So it looks like it might be water under the bridge now to have Oregon not go into favor of PDHM, and Team Mystic is now up 1. But don't worry, we have potentially one, maybe even 2 more maps in this best of 3 tonight. But the streak of flawless wins are going to keep on going for Team Mystic. But let's see what happens on Villa in a few minutes after this break. Hey everybody, welcome back to SCS Season 5. The quarterfinals were potentially down to the very last map of the entire series tonight. That is if Team Mystic wins both maps in a row, and given that they've gone flawless the whole season, it may look likely. Carter, walk us through Villa now, and let's see. Apparently this is their playground, but PDHM, a CL team, they have a chance.
I mean, of course they have a chance. I mean, if you got a CL team like PDHM with a lot of talented players on their team, even if a couple of the more notable ones didn't show up in that first map, there's always going to be a chance. Is it a high one? Now that's a different topic entirely. I mean, Mystic are incredibly strong on Villa, and a lot of their individual players are incredibly strong on Villa. So, is there a chance? Of course. There's always a chance. I'm never going to count out a team like PDHM, who have a fairly good track record in the aggregate when they actually put their mind to things. But it's also Mystic on Villa, so there's a chance. And it's probably double digits, but not high double digits.
Now, Adam, we've been talking all night about Team Mystic and Villa and how good they are, but what specifically makes this their best map?
Well, Villa's a map all about map control, and whenever it comes to Mystic, whenever they lose map control, they typically either fight back for it or they fall back so aggressively that you basically can't take the next point. Like, let's say they're going to be playing someone inside a statue. If that player inside a statue dies or if he falls back, he's going to come back and he's going to try and pressure that, or he's going to go play a different position, maybe inside a 90. He's just going to do something very Villa-esque and do something that makes Villa such a strong map for defenders. That's fall back and hold even stronger. So they're, Mystic, they're known for fortifying themselves inside the site or kind of doing a little bit of off-site, but then they swing, and they add pressure as it goes. That's where Villa can really be their playground.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to waste any of your time. We're going to go down to see map number 2, potentially the final one of the entire quarterfinals tonight. Jazz, Lynx, kill it out there. Let's see what happens between Team Mystic and PDHM tonight.
Thank you, Max. All right, Lynx, map number 2. We're here. It's not looking the best. Not looking like the best chance for a map 3, but I mean, like you said, there's always a chance. PDHM,
yes.
Don't count them out just yet.
Yeah, don't count them out just yet. Is there a chance for the bands to be more interesting?
No.
No. A little bit. It's better than Thatcher. It's better than Thatcher.
Oh, Thatcher's next. Just you wait.
I know, but like
wait.
first band, it's better than Thatcher. I mean, it's still going to be next.
Like right now?
Yeah. So, saving the mediocre for a second. It's Hibana Thatcher. It's Villa. Pretty common. Before it was Hibana Thatcher, it was Ace Thatcher. Before that, it was insert hard breacher Thatcher. Not all that surprising. For the first defensive ban, it's got to be a Valkyrie as well. Mentioned earlier how her ban rate has seen a little bit of an increase since the recent patch, and it will continue on Villa, one of her most banned maps since that change. And for the final one, what's it going to be, Jazz?
If I'm PDHM,
Right
I
now.
would do Mira. If I'm PDHM, I would absolutely do Mira because Mystic are one of the most powerful Mira teams on Villa. They basically win games off their windows. So, thank goodness. That would have been really bad if we saw Mira being played by Team Mystic because it's daunting. Mystic have incredible Mira placements. Like, it's daunting. It's really daunting.
It is quite good. For Mystic. It's also Villa. Mira just strong on Villa. Not her strongest map, but still pretty strong as she is on most maps. So getting her off the board, never a bad thing. And with how PDHM were playing, I wouldn't expect them to actually rely on it too heavily, and it seems kind of we're seeing something similar here. The Mozzie coming out, no mute, but still a Mozzie indicates at least a pretty, fairly solid roam presence. Don't know if we could expect Raffi to be joined by either EXO, or not EXO. EXO played a lot of Lucy on Oregon, so thought it was him for a second. Whether it be Raffi on the roam alongside Subarctic on the Mozzie. Could be joined by WAV. He'll probably be joined by WAV if there is a roam coming out. But this is also Aviator Games, and a lot of that time, this site is more focused on holding those positions, especially on top of main stairs, as one of the key points for any defense on AVG. So, how they play that will dictate a lot of the future of this map, because on the one hand, Villa does lend itself to playing in that kind of, cafe style, where you're holding those positions, but it also lends itself to playing much more extended roams. PDHM didn't have a lot of success either way, so starting out on defense, setting the pace, trying to rack up as many as you can while fixing the mistakes of the previous map. That's going to be the name of the game for the next 6 rounds.
Seems like it's gonna be a pretty standard take.
Changing mags.
Oh my gosh, I don't. What is
Nice.
that metal thing
Nice.
called? I gotta know. The thing that Feltwinter just shot. What is that? What is that?
I don't know. I honestly thought he was just like showing the camera like, ooh, look at my L85 recoil control.
No, that thing is literally invincible. You cannot destroy that. Like it is. I get it. Like because that like opens up a really nice angle looking into main, or at least unchallengeable angle by most cases. But like, it's so hard to destroy. What is it? What is also that loud banging? I had that twice, and I thought like
I heard
Lex,
it on,
honestly,
I heard
Lex,
it on
I
Oregon.
thought you were in danger. Like I thought like something
I might
happened to
be.
you.
Maybe I am. Maybe I don't even know. I know I'm in danger because Rexvy's on Ash.
Uh-oh. Wait, Rexavy is on Ash.
That's how I know I'm in danger.
That is weird. Feltwinter being on Sledge
The
and
world is in
Rexavy on
danger.
Ash. This is okay. This is really interesting.
Gunner on Ace.
Yeah, what is going on?
Gunner just went 12 and 5 on the entry, and they're like, "Hey, give him the AK-12." Well, Rexvy maybe shouldn't have given over the reins to the support just yet, at the very least, taken the reins of entry. He's the first to go, followed by Feltwinter on the Sledge. 2 pretty useful operators on AVG, to say the least. You still have Gunner, the hard breach, and he's using one of his Selma charges to open up that vault wall, and he'll get the first kill for Mystic on the Prompted. The smoke. So, pretty powerful operator taken away on the side of PDHM. So, while Mystic is certainly disadvantaged at the moment, taking out that smoke is one of the easiest ways to lessen the burden on your team once you go for that execute.
PDHM now just need to play safe at this point. Don't give Mystic any freebies. They're up a man and they can keep it this way. And, well, they won't give freebies. They'll take 2. As Gunner and Whitlock both fall, Xeno's in a 1 versus 4. He's the clutch master of this team, but can he really do it is the question. He's got so much working against him. He spots Wav, looking for a second, and he gets it. Headshot onto Raffi. Gonna look for a third. He knows where Exo is. Exo can also swing into Vault as that wall is open, and Xeno is very aware of that. This cross is also extremely dangerous, and Subarctic takes down Xeno from that cross. PDHM take round number 1, almost looking terrifying there, but it's not enough.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good attempt towards the end. I honestly started to believe in the power of Xeno, but as you said, it was a pretty deadly crossfire he found himself in, and a 1v4 on Villa and a 1v4 on Aviator Games on Villa, that's a pretty tall order. So, not surprised he didn't meet it. As good of a player Xeno is, no shame to him. You're not statistically likely to come away with that. Overall, pretty sloppy round coming out from Mystic. I mean, losing Rex so quickly on main stairs. I mean, they pushed Wav up the stairs, but not actually off. So maybe they got a bit overconfident with their map control and either gave themselves up to some easy gunfights or just weren't aware of the Jaeger's positioning. So unfortunate to them, but also at the same time, good play to PDHM. They really made Mystic fight like hell for every single inch of map control. And even when they lost Prompted, didn't seem like it phased the defense whatsoever. They still held on to their positions and what they had and didn't give up ground easily, didn't overpeak. They played about as well as you could in that situation. And I mean, you can play pretty damn well when you're up in a 1v4. So good on them. And if you're trying to change everyone's minds since Oregon, it's a good first round to start on. You still got to pull a lot more together and, actually convince us you stand a chance. But hey, starting off on the right foot. Always like to see it.
Yeah, PDHM need any round that they can get here, and climbing up on this first round and taking it, I mean, it's important. It's important that PDHM salvage as much as they can, because it's going to start to get harder and harder as Mystic get into Villa. But as much as we, hype up Mystic and make him feel like they are immortal, PDHM look great. They look stunning. A very good first round from them, and if they can keep this up, I mean, I see nothing but success from them in the next coming rounds. But again, it's really going to come down to if they can keep this consistent, if they can keep on pushing the way that they have been. Because otherwise, I mean, it simply is dangerous. Mystic are dangerous once you get them in a position where they want to be in. They take a single advantage, some sort of, any sort of advantage, whether it's a 4v5 like it is now from Gunner, it'll start to get really terrifying real quickly if you're not able to catch that off. Exo, unfortunately, has tested his luck swinging onto Brick's door, and unfortunately, the only thing that he'll be seeing is the stars and the ceiling. He is dead. Prompted also takes a little bit of damage, but a C-Force from Subarctic. This man has simply not been missing a C-Force. Will drop Rexaby and will drop Case. But it's 4 even. PDHM not in the advantage just yet. They aren't out of it. They've lost the C4 as a matter of fact. They've also lost the Ash. So the only way to get rid of those shields are the 1 out of, well, 4 nades that you have.
I mean, Rexby is an Ash man on Villa, but so far not been his game. Not the opening pick, but still the first to die for Mystic 2 rounds in a row. But Gunner, who's on the support, you know, a bit of a stark contrast how he played on Oregon. He's been doing a pretty good job getting open those necessary walls. And Mystic, they're actually doing a pretty good job at coalescing around the bomb site. They've taken most of the map control surrounding the bomb site itself away from Mystic, and they could find themselves in a pretty neat position for an execute if they continue whittling away at the defender's defense. Meanwhile, PDHM, the defenders, are whittling away at Mystic's health. Gunner below 50. Feltwinter on the floor, head completely gone. It's now 4v3 in the favor of the defense. Sure, you lost the Cade, but you've taken away the Ash and the Sledge with what is an immense amount of utility on the side of the defense. Malusis, Evil Eyes, Aruni Gates. This is not looking good for Mystic when it comes to the actual side execute, especially when Gunner, who so far has been doing pretty well on this ace, at least in the first round, is on low HP. He'll do a little bit of damage to Subarctic, put him down to 50, but his next job is to try to remove WAV from Astro Stairs. He'll not succeed, and now it's incumbent on the rest of the team in the final 30 seconds to make something happen.
30 seconds indeed, and PDHM have been, or sorry, Mystic have been defined by their executes, and this is no different. Flashbang is coming on through, and Xeno's going to start to begin the plant, but he's getting shot at by the Evil Eye, which he'll come back up and shoot. Raffi takes down Whitlock, however, he's also been air dabbed. It's a double kill here for the side of PDHM. Xeno has Diffuser here, and he'll swing wide. He only needs to find Prompted. WAV is down, but Xeno simply doesn't have the time. The cam is on him, and Xeno simply cannot win off of this one. PDHM take round number 2. A nice attempt there from Xeno, who has been in 2 clutch situations. Now, PDHM starting to take a few rounds here, and they're starting to look good as Mystic. Starting to crumble a little bit. Can they keep this going is the question. Can PDHM make this into a run of a lifetime, or is this simply just a few lucky rounds? We can't call it that just yet, because honestly, PDHM looked pretty good.
Yeah, losing that Ash and that Sledge really reared its ugly head in that situation. Mystic, they were fully prepared to get onto that bomb site. Fully prepared. But there was so much they still had to clear through, and so much that they lacked in order to drive the players out of their positions. I mean, you still had WAV on Astro in the final 30 seconds. Gunner doing his best to try to work him off, but WAV's a smart player. He knows that he doesn't have to peek you in that position, especially when they're in the advantaged position. You can just sit there, wait, maybe peek his head out every now and then to give you the scare of your life, but he doesn't actually have to take that fight. And meanwhile, because you lost your Ash charges and 2 of your sets of nades at the beginning, and a Sledge as well, those Evil Eyes, those Malusis, any bulletproof gadget they might have is going to remain up unless you dedicate some of your Yana or your Selma charges, the latter which was mostly dedicated to opening up those reinforced walls. Losing that utility early on really hurt Mystic in the final minute and almost wholly prevented them from either working the players of PDHM out of their positions or executing onto that site until they actually did.
What is that glow? What the heck?
Lens flare. Just it's a thing now.
Just beaming from the mute jammer.
Yeah.
That's the one. That is the mute jammer right
It
there.
opens a portal into the dimension where Cyclops gets his lasers.
And where Rexaby is on Ash.
Yes, and where Rexaby is on Ash.
Let's see if that thing gets... I want to get a closer look at that. I wish I could see what it is. What kind of an object that is. A mysterious... Well, I was going to call it a UFO, but it's not flying.
UFOs can be landed.
Are you saying that's a UFO?
Rexaby
on Ash is dead. Okay, anyway. What would it be, though?
I mean, it could be an unidentified flying object just on the ground.
And it's just perched on that one balcony. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
That's the Roswell UFO right there. We found it.
It's here, guys. It's all the way in Italy.
Someone call Ancient Aliens. We got it figured out. All
right, well, that's Case.
Figured out.
I don't know if Exo knows. That could have been huge if he found out. Well, it doesn't even matter because Feltwinter's down as well. What the heck has happened to PDHM? They
We
look
really hyped up
stunning
Villa
right
a bit
now.
too much.
We did.
I mean, it's
Mystic are
defense, but like,
falling.
yeah, but this ain't looking good.
I will be absolutely shocked if the first map that Mystic ever loses on Villa. Whitlock, 2 versus 5. Honestly, no matter what we say, I'm pretty sure this round is in the favor of PDHM. But they do have time. That is one thing they have going for them. If not the 3 teammates dead thing, that little issue that they have, they have time. What is that, man?
Oh,
What is?
oh wait, we're trolling. It's the Gone 6.
Why is that so loud, though?
I don't know why it's so loud. That's what was throwing me off guard.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, I know what it is, and I'm like, why is it so loud? Is the question. Rafi
It is
prompted.
extremely loud.
About to rotate away here. Wav takes down Zeno, and the expected has happened.
Yeah, that's wraps. At least for that round. Now, I honestly, I don't like. I don't know what really to say about that.
Well,
I mean, like,
yeah.
Mystic tried to. They entered the building, of course, but they would try to enter a room, and usually it would result in at least one of their members dying, whether it be upstairs or downstairs, in the fight, outside the bomb site. Really, anywhere they tried to move, they just kind of got shot and killed. So, it's 3-0 right now in the favor of PDHM. On Villa, she has a defender side of the map. Not to, use a cliche. So, is it unreasonable that it's 3-0 right now? I mean, I'll say a little bit, but not too bad. Still plenty of time for Mystic to pick it back up. But it's a 3-0 on what we have hyped up and what many would agree is one of Mystic's best maps. And PDHM don't seem to be trying. But, like, not in the way we meant earlier. Like, not trying, and this is taking about, like, 5 to 15% of their brain power. Or their strength. Or anything, really. I mean, Rexavy, he has been either the first or second to die every single round. He was the first to die 2/3 so far. And so far, the only 2 members of Mystic who have really seen any semblance of action are Zeno and Gunner. And if you want to count assists, Whitlock. But that's an assist. Gunner and Zeno are the only 2 who have gotten kills so far. They've got 3 each, so they've gotten at least a kill each round. But this is not a game where you can 2v5. This is a game where most of your team, if not all, has to show up. And losing the player who seems to be your entry on Villa, first or second 3 rounds in a row, might be just one of the many reasons why.
Yeah, Rexavy, unfortunately, being down 3 times like that, I don't know. It's really rough. He's been in really rough positions. And he's been solo entering, and what's also dangerous is that sometimes he has the diffuser with him, and every time it seems like Mystic just have trouble whenever.
Are you kidding me?
So
Why does he have diffuser? Like, just give it to someone else.
I don't even need to say anything.
Like
wait,
even,
there's
even,
a wait.
all right,
There's a
yeah,
Mozzie in the
he's
bathtub.
misdroned. He's misdroned. There's just no way he's there. I mean, I hope this drone. Oh, is that a no? That's not a Mozzie drone. Yeah, just drone out the. that was weird. So yeah, Subarctic's probably gonna kill this guy. Here's him right next to him. Depending on how he plays this, he might not pop up at exactly the right time, but he's playing this so patiently. Rafi down below as well could go for a C4, but Subarctic is perfectly content to wait as long as possible. I respect his patience. It just now means his team is in a man disadvantage. Gunner even questioning Prompted's decision-making, but they might be questioning a bit more if they let Subarctic get away with this.
Yeah, hold the marks for now because PDHM have gotten even scarier play up their sleeve, and Mystic are literally none the wiser. I don't know how effective this flank is going to be here from Subarctic, considering time is running out and he's just kind of waiting here. Oh, but here he goes. The initiation's happening.
There he goes.
If he runs into an air jab while he's trying to do this, I will be shocked. He takes down Zeno as Exo also takes down Gunner, and they're going to wonder how the hell that just happened, as that player sitting Skull Door is completely oblivious to the fact that there is a Mozzie directly behind him. He'll have to find out the hard way pretty soon here as he's waiting his time out. Nade there from Fellwinter doesn't scare Rafi away as he's got 3 ADSs on that doorway. Case is also dropped here from Team Mystic, so they're going to have to worry about that as well. Whitlock, however, takes down Exo. Feltwinner's going for the plant, but there's the flank here from Subarctic. Feltwinner is now in a 1 versus 2. They're trying to tag up Raffi as he gets himself inside a vault, actually. This could be good! Feltwinner takes down Raffi, but he isn't able to get the trade. As Subarctic, inside of the bathtub, makes a powerful play here. He is a bathtub streamer, ladies and gentlemen. Or a hot tub streamer. Call him Amaranth. It's going to be 4-0 for PDHM.
Hot tub streamer. He's on a heater.
Oh.
Getting warm feelings about PDHM's chances.
Oh. Okay. All right, Leaks.
I'm so good. So I joked. I did a funny earlier where I said, PDHM, they're gonna 7-0 Mystic, like, and that was a joke, of course. Now I'm kind of worried that might have been right. Now I'm kind of worried that might happen.
We kind of, like you said, we hyped up this Villa a lot, and now
Lexvi has died 3/4 of the opening rounds. Or sorry, he has been the opening death 3/4 of the rounds so far, and in every one of those rounds he had diffuser.
Yeah, Case has been dropped every round. I'm pretty sure
it got dropped outside trophy window, and he was alone with it.
Yep.
Well, what is happening?
I really wish I could tell you.
Do we live just to suffer? Hey, Jess, have you noticed a change in Mystic's roles?
What? The fact that Rexaby may or may not be on Ash anymore?
And Gunner may or may not be on Ace? You might be onto something.
They might have figured it out.
They might have figured out the strat.
Holy
Rexby
moly.
does still have diffuser, but he is on Ace, so he will not be on the front lines or solo entering. So much better position for the person who has not had the best of luck in those opening duels so far. Now, again, I will say this. Rexby on Oregon was actually looking fairly solid on a hard support. Like, his rating, his cost was fairly solid. I think it was like 0.99 and 60% respectively. So it's not like he's been having a bad day. He just was doing exceptionally poor on free, so good roll swap. Good call on that one. Probably for the best.
Jitlock is going to push into kitchen here. He spots out Wav playing inside of China, and he's going to have to work his way away from this. C4 pop there by Zeno. Doesn't find any... Oh my goodness. Wav is literally just headshotting Whitlock whether he knows it or not. I guess he's like behind an indestructible wall, but that was really terrifying. Mystic aren't going to fall off of this. Or sorry, PDHM not falling off of this. Whitlock coming in for this push. The bullet hole is going to say him and send him goodbye. Whitlock falls first this time around. Not the opening pick that we've seen 3 out of the 4 times. And PDHM constantly just hammering away at Team Mystic. This is really unexpected from PDHM. They have come completely alive as Subarctic also takes down Gunner in the process. What has happened to PDHM? A spark of life, and they are certainly looking to take the series. Like you said, 7-0. Not a single round has convinced me in terms of what Mystic are doing. They look like they're lost. They have no idea where they are.
Yeah, they certainly look like at least some of their players or all of them have entered a collective fugue state, not fully aware of their surroundings or anything going on. And once again, you've lost your Ashe and you've lost your Yana. One of them has 3 Ashe charges that can be used to destroy explosives. The other has a set of frag grenades that, you guessed it, can be used to destroy explosives or bulletproofs.
Wow.
Rab finds a second kill on Zeno, somehow manages to escape from that engagement with the amount of bullets plopped into his body. 1 for Rexer, or 1 onto Rexby soon after, but 1 for Feltwinner to make it a 1v4. A bit more winnable, but only comparatively to a 1v5. He's got 25 HP as well. A frag grenade to burn the Aruni, so that bit of utility won't do well, and death will soon be met by the most lowly of all sources. He gets zapped to death by an Evil Eye, and that Evil Eye can thank itself for getting the 5th round in a row for PDHM on Villa.
PDHM currently look unstoppable right now. Like, I am really shocked at what's happening right now to them. And, well, Mystic on their strongest map are just dead in the water on attacks. They are so separate. They're playing so separate. Their roam clears are nothing short of bad. Like, they are just not roam clearing whatsoever. And all of a sudden, PDHM are just able to play around this entire map as flexibly as they want to. PDHM are taking advantage of the fact that Mystic are not only misdroning sometimes, but also just not pushing together. They're able to find these plays where they can isolate attackers really, really easily. Like, surprisingly scary, like terrifyingly easy. It should not be this easy to isolate Mystic, a team that usually plays very together and are very strong. They're bonded very well and they don't ever break. And yet PDHM are just having the time of their lives breaking this team up. We're going downstairs into kitchen. PDHM. You only need one more round and all of a sudden everyone in Twitch chat, all of your predictions are about to be wrong, including some of our caster predictions.
10 seconds left before
And we might,
insertion.
maybe, just maybe, might be going to Clubhouse.
5 seconds remaining. Attackers objective.
That's all I gotta say.
Locate a bomb and defuse
Just
it.
yeah.
Okay.
It's what it's.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
what-
that's-
it's
that's
what, I mean,
fair.
it's what it's looking like right now. You don't have to be a rocket
Yeah.
scientist or even like a Copper 4 to understand what's going on with Mystic. Their entry has died every single round and has been the first or second death all 5 rounds so far. Mystic can't get in the building without losing one of their key players or key roles. Might stop here as well. There is a crossfire held by both WAV and Prompted on the Vigil and Jaeger, respectively. One to the left, one to the right. EXO as well, holding Radiator door to maybe wait for his team and hope that he distracts enough from Prompted, though the Vigil will drop down below. And join WAV, though Prompted has fallen to Gunner. For the second time this game, Mystic will get the opening pick, and in both times it's been Gunner, but the entry's been successful this go-around. Still need to prove to us that they can win it, because even in the one round where they got the entry, it didn't work out. And it's just been traded back and even to a 4v4 by EXO. He's found Feltwater on the sledge. Again, one of those crucial operators that Mystic keeps seeming to lose in the first minute. And it's a 4v4. It's still not terrible, but it's looking like PDA might still be regaining the momentum that they haven't seemed to have stopped so far.
Mystic should be able to confirm that this entire top floor is clear, but they've lost Feltwater in the process. I mean, you said it. Top breach gone. I mean, on an upstairs site like this, absolutely crucial. You only have 3 breaching charges to work with. That is it. If you want to use your ass charges, feel free, but you probably need them somewhere else. I mean, this is nothing short of incredible, and it was a very, very good kill for from EXO. I think he just walked up into bathroom and killed him. I actually don't know what happened. Yeah, that was rough. But Gunner is going to be using the hard breach, or he's going to be using his soft breach charges to destroy the floor. As Rexaby is on the board, he takes down EXO while also opening up the laundry wall. It might not be a flawless game now, as Mystic are looking to climb their way back, as WAV and Subarctic are in a 2 versus 4. WAV certainly showing up so far this game. Completely different shade of what we saw last time around, as he also takes down Gunner. 2 versus 3, looking for this retake inside of trophies. Got to be careful as Zeno dies on brick door. It's a 2 versus 2 now. PDHM could clutch this off the back of 2 kills here from WAV, as Subarctic is also still alive inside the site. Smoke's coming out here from Rexaby, looking to get himself inside of Tetris. A drop here will get Whitlock a free kill, and it's just down to WAV in a 1 versus 2. He has spotted Whitlock, however, not able to claim that kill. He's on very low HP, and that's going to make his job a little bit easier when he has to inevitably retake the site with only 40 seconds. Pushing into kitchen, he can't do anything. Mystic will deny the flawless as they take their first round of this entire villa. In a shocking performance from PDHM, however, Mystic are down 4 rounds on their map pick.
I mean, these next couple rounds are going to be crucial, not only because the obvious reason it would deny PDHM match point, or at the very least stave off defeat for just a little bit longer, but depending on how Mystic win this will dictate whether or not we're either going to see a quick one for PDHM, overtime, or potentially a Mystic win. For all we know, right now, as at a 5-1 half, maybe Mystic going into the defense will experience the same kind of extreme ease in dealing with PDHM's attacks like PDHM dealt with Mystic's attacks in those first 6 rounds. But I think the more likely and reasonable option is that Mystic, they aren't playing as coordinated. They aren't getting trades as effectively. They're losing their more aggressive players early on with no potential for trades, or if there is potential for trades, that potential not being realized. And none of those are exactly attacker-unique traits. You still need coordination on the defense, albeit to a somewhat lesser extent. But you certainly need to be playing for trades because that is one of the fundamentals of Siege. If you're losing your aggressive players early on and not at the very least evening it, or if you're looking at the attacking time, 2/3 of the round, not evening it soon after, that's a defensive problem as well. And if that's the case, then this is going to be PDHM's game. If Mystic don't fix their mistakes, or if PDHM don't start making the exact same amount as Mystic do, he very well might be looking at Clubhouse, something I don't think any of us, or at the very least me, at least I didn't expect.
PDHM also have to go to attack, and if Mystic struggled, you can kind of assume that PDHM might as well, but if there's any time to see if PDHM can fix their mistakes from Oregon, they're, sort of uncharacteristic attacks, their solo entries, their mishaps, their double, the times they've been double killed, stuff like that. If they can correct those mistakes, PDHM are very well likely to take the first ever map against Mystic and also take us to Clubhouse. Now, Mystic, they're also a team that can be affected by the mental. They can lose the mental very easily due to some unfortunate circumstances, and you can assume that this is probably getting to them. This is probably going to be hurting the mental just a little bit here, but with this defender reset, let's see if Mystic can come back. It's now or never for Mystic. It's all coming down to if they can play together, if they can swing together and sort of play this aggressive position together. Here comes a swing from Gunner. Not able to find anyone just yet, as the rest of PDHM are starting to work their way up. 90. A swing from Gunner will net him not a kill, but a little bit of damage. There goes Exo. As Rexaby is also playing inside of 90. That's a kill for Rex as he takes down Raffi and gets control of 90 while also claiming a double kill. You've lost your nades and you've lost your Ash. So the only thing to clear shields here is WAV. And with Goyo shields and smoke shields up, that's 3 shields. It is physically, unless Prompted uses his ace charges, you can only clear 2 shields from him. Well, now it's just 2. Now it's just 1. I assume they're going to use some. I assume they're going to use some ace charges, but still.
They certainly have to. One of them will go to a Melusi charge as well, so it's not unwinnable for PDHM. But that aggression that we said would be a key factor for both of these teams and was noticeably absent from Mystic on their attacking half, has at least for this round been regained and used to great effect by the now defending team, taking out Raffi and Exo, losing the Yana and the Ash, 2 players that we said were crucial losses for Mystic, and now you've lost Subarctic as well. Only WAV is there to cover Prompted on the plant. He's managed to prone his way into sight, but now he's stuck on the floor, no longer able to move because he's dead, and Prompted hops in the grave just a couple seconds later. It's a flawless round to start off Mystic's defensive half, and again, we still need to see a lot more for them to prove they have a chance on Villa. That's a hell of a way to perfect off. You could say, a flawless way to start it off.
Very, very good stuff there from
the camera after that.
Good start there from Mystic. Like you said, flawless. And we're going to be seeing a kitchen hold this time instead of a trophy. So usually trophy is your, I don't have to, harp on this too long, but trophy is usually your secondary bomb site and kitchen is usually your tertiary. But Mystic have decided to swap roles here and see if they can try their best with the dining kitchen. They're even bringing a pulse now. 3 C4s, so the pulse could be very smart. We are going to see Whitlock stick that. So this is going to get interesting because obviously PDHM are going to have to adapt to, Mystic are going to have to adapt to this and see if they can, understand what is going to be brought out by Mystic before they bring it out. We'll have to see though. It's going to be really challenging for PDHM if they don't know what they're doing. But they're bringing a pretty standard lineup right now. They haven't really switched up. Villa's not one of those maps where you need a certain operator for a certain site. You can bring the same core 5 over and over again and do just fine. So they're not going to be having an operator doing absolutely nothing. It's just the problem of how are they going to play around this, especially without bringing a sledge. So that's one thing. I didn't even think about that. The fact that they don't have a sledge, they're going to have to rely on... Well... They have 6 breaching charges. I'm sure they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, they do have 6 breaching charges, but it's still a bit of a different situation. I mean, you have what, like 26 holes that can be opened on
Versus
Sledge.
6, yeah.
Nades as well. And Ash and Zofia are both good picks. You've got those 3 Ash charges, you've got those 2 Zofia lifelines, and at least when it comes to soft breach, you're not centralizing it as much as you are in the Sledge. But it's still 26 holes that can be open, and Sledge is universally a great operator in most situations. So it's a risk, and those breach charges will be critical. But now the question is whether or not they can take top control, because if you can't sledge or not, that soft destruction isn't going to matter if players like Gunnar and Feltwinter still hold control of Astro. And right now, 45 seconds in, still looking pretty strong. A lot of time for that to change, of course, but one important factor that was not the same for PDHM or their defenses, Mystic are aided by a pulse. Whitlock down below inside of sight with his heartbeat scanner, able to call out the positions of currently 3 defenders, make that 2 inside a master bedroom. Raffi's blown sky high. That's half of your breach charges we mentioned earlier. That bit of soft destruction that's already in short supply just got a lot scarcer. Thankfully, they will manage to clear it upstairs, but not before Exo falls as well. That's your only set of nades, and it seems like a recurring theme in this game so far, that for the attacking team, the Ash and either the Sledge or the Yana are the opening picks. We already saw how much of a burden that was for Mystic on their attacks, and for PDHM, despite the man count being even and top control being in their hands, but maybe they're turning things around just a little bit. They don't need breach charges, and WAV certainly doesn't need utility. He can just shoot Rex V in the face, remove one of the C4s. He's got a triple so far, and he single-handedly made it to 3v2.
C4 here from Whitlock. He's going to wait his time here. Prompted is not budging, though. PDHM, they're 2 rounds away and 2 kills away from match point, and also taking Mystic for the first time. And WAV goes down, however. Huge C4 there from Whitlock. WAV should be recovered, given no one's aggressing up the stairs, but still. Xeno's actually on Brown. He's on Brown's stairs. He could do something from this. But he's biding his time. Waiting for the most opportune moment to make it work. Whitlock is the only one inside of sight, and he's going to be the one that Mystic are primarily pushing because Xeno is inside of Brown's stairs. He does have a shotgun to make holes with as well, so he can destroy that wall inside of China and look down in there. WAV's going to be planning inside a kitchen, and Whitlock, he's not in the best of positions to deny it, simply due to the fact that there is a ace inside a pantry. Xeno has been spotted out here by Subarctic, so they know that he's there. The element of surprise is gone. Here comes a swing, and it's going to be Subarctic taking down Xeno. Whitlock in a 1 versus 3 with the Can you believe it? Is it actually happening on Villa of all things as Whitlock? He's got to find 3 more if he wants to salvage this, and with the time that he has, and with the pushes working against him, with the crossfires held here, beautiful shot there onto WAV, but it'll swing right in the crossfires here of PDHM. Believe it or not, we are 1 round away from Mystic for the first time in the entirety of the SCS season. We are 1 round away from them losing a map.
1 more round, potentially 3 to 4 minutes away from something that hasn't happened in all of SCS Season 5 happening for the first time. As you said, Mystic, if you recall, plus 34 round differential. They've played 10 maps, gone to OT twice, finished 8 off in without overtime, but won every single one of them. And on Villa of all places, they might just meet, or that streak just might meet its end, and Trophy Statuary might just be the site where it all crumbles in their hands. They'll 6-pick off the pulse, 2. They'll 6-pick off the pulse, 2. They'll 6-pick off the pulse, 2.
Me.
So am I.
Wait. Definitely not me.
Not, in fact, Adam Jazzman Jassim.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
Subarctic will also 6-pick to the line. But, either way, this might be the site where things go awry. Well, I mean, they've gone awry, but this is where they would, fully fall out of their hands onto the ground, and they'd have to pick up their pieces and go back to Clubhouse, or at least go towards the Clubhouse. I certainly didn't expect it to be this drastic. I thought if PDHM were going to take Villa, it would be a long, drawn-out battle. Likely overtime would be necessary. Maybe at least a 7-5. Right now we're at a 6-2. Mystic need to win 4 rounds in a row, something that they have not been able to do on map because they've only won 2 rounds, and neither of them were in a row. And something PDHM have seemed to be able to do easily, which is deal with whatever Mystic are bringing out, punishing the aggression, and even when they've seemed to lose their footing, it's not been an issue. 1 player will fall, but they'll take 2 of yours away soon after. So, do I think PDHM are going to falter? I don't see it. But hey, Mystic have felled worse or better teams before.
It's Seems like it's going to be an entry into the barrel this time around, the wine cellar. Sometimes you forget that that basement is there, but it is indeed present, and it's a gateway to basically everything. You can walk up red, you can walk up pantry, you can also walk up brown stairs, which then leads you up Astro. Gunner's going to lose his head, however, and it's going to be an aggressive push from PDHM. Prompted, however, will drop case. This push isn't working out exactly the way that they expected. Xeno and Wav each dying to utility, a smoke grenade, and an impact from Zofia. But 4 versus 3, Mystic are on the back foot, believe it or not. As much as this push has been sort of halted for a second as it's been stalled on the Astro stairs, it's working out. C4 dropped Raffi. How did he live through that? Feltwinter takes down Wav, however, Raffi with a refrag. Whitlock coming in for the flank, however, it is expected, so Whitlock's location very well known, but Raffi's reloading at the wrong time. A second kill, not for Whitlock, but for Subarctic, as it's a 2 versus 1. Rexavi's in all on his own. He'll take down Subarctic, and there's only one more man. If our XL can win this, which he cannot, as Rexavi shows up when it matters. What could have been heartbreak for Mystic turns into success as they win the round. 2 kills for Rexavi. We're still alive here on Villa.
Well played by Rexavi, and hey, you also got to hand it to Whitlock on that one. I mean, just narrowly escaping the death from the Ash. That could have gone so poorly, but managing to catch that Ash off guard mid-reload, felling Raffi, making it a 2v2, that was what allowed Rexavi, even after losing his teammate of Whitlock, to be in a position to get that 1v2 clutch, because Whitlock also did an immense amount of damage to that Lion. So that isn't to say it was a perfect round for Mystic. Still quite a bit of mistakes, allowing PDHM to gain much of that early momentum. Then again, you know, they were taken off guard. Sometimes that happens. The team rushes, especially from an unlikely position being basement. Well, basement on a trophy statuary defense of all places as well. You can forgive them a little bit for maybe not having the best of intel. I certainly wouldn't have anticipated it, and I think many players would probably have fallen to that as well. But for minimizing the damage, Whitlock and Rexavi showing up when it matters, that's a good round to have. You still need to net those 3 in a row in order to bring PDHM to overtime. And even then, PDHM looked incredibly strong. Not only did they successfully catch Mystic off guard, they made that calculated aggression. They all knew their positions. They all knew their roles and played them effectively. And hey, they only have to win one round. Just one when we go to Clubhouse.
Can't count Mystic as well. They still have a chance, and they still look like they could be on top of things, but the fact they were able to hold off that rush strategy kind of shows me that they still have a little bit of cohesion in them. But of course, it was a 2v1 clutch that led to that moment, but you have to wonder if that 2v1 clutch is going to be something that PDHM look back on as a simple mistake or the defining moment of that entire game, because Mystic are still very well in this game. They're still very much alive. And they're not done just yet. If there's any team that gives up, it simply is not Mystic. They will fight for anything they possibly can. And right now, they're fighting for not only their win streak inside of SCS, their so far 11 map win streak. They're also fighting for the fact that they want to end this game and just shoot themselves up into playoffs. Gone 6, you can hear ringing in the distance. Not sure if it got rid of anything. But PDHM, they're going to have a lot to work against here. Again, we see this triple shield setup being brought out with Xeno on the shields and Goyo with 2. It's going to be a lot to clear.
Well, it's a shout out to Wav having a much better game than Oregon. And I mean, everyone on PDHM has been showing up a lot better, but him especially. 12-7 after going, what, like 3-9. Good on him. Glad to see him performing much better than previously. Exo as well, 7-6, not nearly as flashy as the Zofia, but both of them are showing up, and hey, maybe it's not coincidence that PDHM are up 6-3 as a result. Right now, they're stalling a bit on the main stairs. That shield now destroyed, and Feltwinter on the Jaeger, both causing them a bit of trouble. Feltwinter also taking after Wav on that main stairs, not giving it up too easily. In fact, he'll be the death of Wav himself. The Exo is up for 2. He's got Feltwinter and Rexavi. Finds the head of the ladder, but he's on 1 HP. It's cost him a lot, but they've, or at least PDHM, have gained quite a bit of map control to start forwarding onto their execute. It is a minute 10 seconds left, and they don't have 90 control, have an open vault wall, so this still is slightly favoring Mystic, though with Gunner on lower HP, that gunfight not working out, and PDHM still having quite a bit of utility to clear out the defense. Certainly looking up for them, and this might be it.
They're going to reinforce off that bar wall, and unfortunately there's nothing they can do about that. 4 versus 3, however, like you said, PDHM still in this advantage. They'll get rid of the Malusis. You can hear all of the ace charges going off in the distance. Super loud they are, as Prompted loses a lot of HP here. Whitlock is going to look to retake from Skull Doran. PDHM currently halted, but with that kill from Raffi, things are going to start to change here. The field is going to start to look a lot more different. But Whitlock, oh, he's got an air jab. That's massive. And he'll die as well. Zeno, he's the last person remaining to save the streak from Mystic. 11 maps. They've been 11-0 up until this point. But Zeno's the only defining factor. It's going to be 11-1. That's PDHM. They're going to be the team to break Mystic's streak. I would have never thought it would have been PDHM, but here we are going to map 3. And what symbolism is it for PDHM to win against Mystic and kill their streak on Villa? Incredible stuff there from PDHM. They looked like a completely different team. We're going to map 3, baby.
Here we are where we're seeing Clubhouse. I believe the map we started on today will also be the map we are ending on. And again, as you said, fitting for PDHM, or I guess unexpectedly, for them to take out Mystic on one of their best maps. And we can finally stop saying that, because maybe it's not one of their best maps anymore. It's only one showing, of course, you know. Maybe they were just having a bad day, but it certainly was a heater from PDHM. You can see, you know, Zeno getting those entries early, Gunner as well showing up for their team, but that was Mystic's downfall. Only a couple of their players really seemed to be in that matchup and either, you know, putting in their best effort or just showing up in the way that was necessary. On the side of PDHM, WAV going absolutely massive. Exo having a much better affair. Subarctic as well. In the middle of the pack, but still going positive. Overall, everyone on PDHM had the most impact possible. They all showed up for revenge on map 2, and now going into map 3, they're the ones on the hot streak. They're the ones with the momentum. We might see Mystic make a quicker exit than I think any of us anticipated.
I can't say I expected to see that result. I really thought it was going to be a 2-0 tonight, guys. But PDHM finally putting in the work, putting an end to Team Mystic's streak. Jazz, what was the big thing? I know Carter touched on it a little bit more, but more specifically, where did Team Mystic fall?
They fell where they should have been winning on. I mean, Team Mystic basically just got gotted with their own formula. PDHM, they like to take a lot of 1v1 gunfights and isolate their players. Or sorry, Mystic like to isolate teammates or enemies. Jeez, I'm shocked right now. Sorry, I don't know if you can tell. But Mystic, they like to isolate a lot of players and just take 2v1s and stuff like that. And guess what? PDHM did the exact same thing, and they were victorious as a result.
And Carter, we were talking about how this is Team Mystic's playground. Bill is one of their best maps. This is the only time they've lost one in the entirety of the season. How does something like that even happen?
I mean, chalk it up. The universe has a sense of humor, I suppose, so maybe it's just divine intervention of sorts and making the storyline a bit more interesting. But how does that happen? Well, it happens at the very beginning, not only of the game, but of the round as well. It happens when the people you set on entry are the first or second to fall. Rexby being on the Ashe, 0.74 rating, much worse previously. Playing that Ashe on Villa, as he does often, he was shut down so early on, often with Diffuser. So, the strategy for both teams has been to work off those entries and gain momentum in the round that way. So for Mystic, where that was their main strategy on Villa, to have that be the first and second player lost every single time, and even when you got the opening pick, PDHM were able to surround you, choke the life from you, and completely smother your chances of winning, well, it's not hard to see why Mystic ended up losing that match and why it was so dominant in the favor of PDHM.
And Carter, it seems like EXO and the rest of PDHM took our advice. EXO himself nearly doubled his rating from the last game.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly, I think, increased his kill stat by over like 700% or something like that. So, I mean, wasn't doing hot at the end of Oregon. But yeah, that go around, much better, not only from him, but Subarctic, WAV as well. Prompted, who was the top player on Oregon, I think like 1.6 something, 1.5 something, still did well. But everyone on PDHM actually showed up and weren't just letting their hard support do the heavy lifting. They all lifted that equally. And again, that's why they carried them to victory. On the side of Mystic, not everyone showed up from map 2. PDHM, they went guns blazing, and they all showed up when they needed to.
But let's see if PDHM can carry over to the semifinals. There's only one more map in this matchup between the two different teams. We have to find out whether or not Team Mystic can make that a fluke, or if it's a common trend in SCS Season 5. But we'll let you know going to Clubhouse in only a few minutes after this break. Hey everybody, welcome back to the quarterfinals of SCS Season 5. We saw something miraculous happen. Team Mystic lost their very first map of the entire series, but they still haven't dropped a series yet in the entirety of the season. This could be the chance to see both happen in one night. I'm not sure. Adam, Carter, what do you think is going to happen tonight now that we're going to map number 3 of Clubhouse for the semifinal, for the quarterfinals?
I mean, what I think is going to happen? I don't know. Honestly, it's up into the air. Both maps are pretty dominant in both teams' favor. Mystic winning, 7-2, 7-3 the first one. PDHM 7-3 the second one. This could go either way. Clubhouse is a good balance between both Villa and Oregon in terms of playstyle. Could be linear. Could be a bit more expansive like Villa was. Honestly, this is anybody's game. If whoever's able to set the pace and whoever is able to dictate the playstyle, that's the team that is going to have the most success. But honestly, this is the potential to be a close one, or this has the potential to be a stomp if PDHM continue the momentum, or Mystic maybe had a talk during the break. Who knows, honestly.
It's a very good point. Adam, going into Clubhouse, what's the first thing you think of?
Mental.
Mental.
I know it's crazy, but Mystic. I think Chris said it best. Uzumaki, damn me. He said that Mystic get angry a lot. Mystic get in their own heads sometimes. And honestly, Clubhouse is one of those maps where you got to play standard Siege, and you're going to be shown. It's going to be your team purely out there and how they perform. That's it. That's all that's going to matter.
Mental and anger are powerful tools, but they have to be utilized in the very last map of the night. It's going to be PDHM going up against Team Mystic one last time for the quarterfinals on the Clubhouse. Carter, Adam, kill it out there. Let's see what happens. Good luck.
God, I love Max.
You don't need to, bro, you don't need to wish me luck. Wish Mystic luck. You kidding me?
What are you saying?
Actually, no.
Gunner?
I guess you can. I guess you can wish us luck because I mean, we all predicted Mystic to win. So
yeah,
maybe.
that's gonna be really bad if it doesn't work out that way. I would be 0-2.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that one.
Actually, you'd be
I'd also
0-2 as well.
I'd be
Yeah, all of
0-2.
us. Every single person would be 0-2.
See that? That's what I'd be taking. Taking a big one. It's also Hibana Thatcher first up, in case you're wondering why we weren't acknowledging it, because it's Clubhouse, and that's like the most standard bans you can get. But for a defense, we'll get a surprise, right? No, we're not, so my bad.
It's Valkyrie.
Yeah. It's the Valkyrie.
It's the Valkyrie. And guess what's next? Because it's PDHM, and they don't want to give Mystic this operator, the one you love, the one you know, the Spanish. It's Mira. Woohoo! Yep. Welcome to Siege, ladies and gentlemen, where every band is standard, every team is standard, and we are basically all just cardboard meshes.
That's my standard bands dance, because it's so much fun. Anyway, let's get into the game.
This is
what Oregon Villa Clubhouse begets. This is what you get for it.
wow. PDHM had a 5% prediction on the channel points, and Audi got away with robbery. He got 50,000.
Can't even count that high.
Someone got 269,000.
I can't count that high either.
I don't think I ever have. I think the highest I've ever counted was 400.
Mine's 17.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Pretty proud of that number.
Okay. Rafi telling someone to get grammar lessons has got to be one of the most ironic things I've ever heard.
It's because he's French Canadian. That is the joke. Have you heard CZ Yes, exactly. I saw Cherishing chat earlier. He knows what I'm talking about. He's heard the CZ What?
I thought you were making fun of Kyle for no reason.
Oh no, I was
CZ
just
comms, yeah.
I mean, Kyle was an analyst on Synthetic. CZ subbed in for Synthetic at one point. Kyle has heard CZ CZ's not a bad player, so CZ is notorious for being very rambunctious and loud and sometimes incoherent in comms because he gets excited. He's an excitable player.
Yeah.
We love CZ.
We love CZ.
You know what we don't love, though? We don't love Rex V on Ash, so thank God he's not on it.
Just
Rex
V has. Oh yeah, they left Maverick up. That's gonna be. It's really weird how bans work because they're very regional, right? Like not like regional in the sense of like regions in the world, like regional in the sense of map wise. Like Hibana bans are amazing for basement, but not really effective upstairs. Wow.
Nice one,
Gunner gets an opening pick there onto Maestro of all people. Evil Eye Control completely forfeited. Nice. But yeah, like whenever you ban Maverick, it's usually going to affect the top floor. Bottom floor a little bit, but not too much. Hibana the other way around. It's kind of weird. I don't think there's any other map like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess Consulate comes close.
Well,
but-
I mean, Clubhouse of the Big Four, it's still like, Big Four being Oregon, Clubhouse, Cafe Villa. It's always been my favorite because while it's, it's been pretty similar for a while.
I like Clubhouse.
No, yeah, I like Clubhouse too. It's my favorite of the four, and there still is a lot of variety with it. Even though the bans are pretty standard, like you said, there are various facets to it, and depending on the van, certain facets get opened up, certain get locked away. Whereas I feel with a lot of maps, especially like Oregon and to a lesser extent Cafe, mainly Oregon, it's still a lot of the same no matter how the bans end up going. So yeah, I like that about Clubhouse as well. One thing that will be an issue for Mystic will be getting those Cade charges off that construction wall. Thankfully, everyone's alive right now. You got the Maverick, his 2 frag grenades, Whitlock, his 2 frag grenades as well. Don't have any Zofia lifelines or impact lifelines or gun up. You got 3 Ash charges on Feltwinter, so you have a lot of options for dealing with it. Just so often it happens. Mystic are kind of getting stalled out on this wall. Not a lot of movement right now, but they will start to rotate down. But unfortunately for them, Subarctic and WAV as well, holding downstairs. Unfortunately for them, or in PDHM as a whole, Gunner's on a heater. He's got 2 so far. Feltwinter and Whitlock will both fall, but at the very least makes it even. Never mind. RexV has something to say about it, because he's just inside the site. Gunner as well. He goes huge. A quad for the Zofia on the first round. Still feeling himself throughout this entire series. He'll dap himself up right at the end.
Hey, dap me up.
Just does it to himself.
Yeah, that's a stunning round there from Gunner, the Gunner that we all know and love. And there it is. Mystic take round number 1. And honestly, I'm not shocked. I'm honestly more shocked at the fact that we're even on Clubhouse, but it is looking like Mystic are going to be in hefty control of the tempo. And that really just comes down to the fact that Clubhouse it can be very even. It's not one-sided. It's not defender-sided. It's both. Maverick, especially being in the fray, really helps the attackers out to balance it out. So it's going to come down to the best team. This is literally the perfect decider map. May the best team win is the current situation for both of these teams. Not strategy, not bullcrap. It is pure siege. It is pure chaos and pure love of the game. This is literally going to be the map that we all envisioned between these two teams. And what a start from Mystic. The IGL, the captain of Mystic. Gunner, going massive. Really good start.
We'll see an adaptation on the side of PDHM, switching onto the Echo. That's EXO taking up that role. Other than that, fairly standard roles, consistent across the majority of PDHM. Still got Subarctic on the Cade, WAV on the Jaeger. So, most of it's consistent. You'll just have the addition of those yokai, something which was absent last time. Normally, you immediately think of yokais. You're like, oh, plant denial. But no plant went down in that round. In fact, there was no chance to, because Gunner killed everyone before really anybody could get the plant down. But if what PDHM felt was a lack of intel burdening them, you can still use guys to that same extent. They don't go invisible anymore, so we've seen some teams adapt by almost using the yokais as kind of an active droning on the defense. Aiding the roamers, which you've got 2 down below, and, well, I guess 1 down below now as Raffi rotates up in the rafters. Takes a lot of damage, but manages to get back away with his life. With those yokais, if they're worried about Gunner getting 4 kills from who knows where, they'll at least have a bit more of a chance to get intel on his position.
RexV now going to return to work on his Picasso art. I don't think he's gotten that section right there. The one that Raffi is literally staring at. I don't know if he got that. I don't know if it matters, actually, because I think he got it. I don't know. It might just be like the angle we're looking at it from. Let's see if he gets the wall. Okay, he did get it. Maybe I'm underestimating RexV on his Maverick. He's definitely improved from what we saw early Mystic, like Gatekeeper's Mystic. Definitely improved on the Maverick. I was showing him out for that. Cool stuff. Cool stuff, Rex. But Team Mystic are very quiet here on the plat wall area. Nothing of note except for the wall being opened, and usually whenever Mystic open this wall, you can already hear the sludge in the left side of your ear. They'll get themselves into con immediately after. Now the question is I think they're going to just be using Rex for, yeah, they're going to be using Rex to get anything off the wall that might be there. That mainly being a jammer and also possibly a kite. Actually, Subarctic has 2, so this con wall could be a little bit of a difficulty to open if they're not dealing with those properly. But C4 prop, nothing so far of note for both these teams. Very silent, but it's going to ramp up very soon.
It's been an incredibly slow round so far. The Gunners looking to put an end to that. Wav's head the first to pop on the side of PDHM, but aside from him inside of sight, PDHM's defense still remains fairly strong. Raffi inside of Garage, maybe getting a bit too aggressive, but Garage control still in the hands of the defense in the final 45 seconds. Good looks. Downstairs control as well, and Gunner, the biggest man on the side of Mystic, will fall short this round. Raffi evens it to a 4v4, and once again, the defenders rotating up, still even man count going into sight. Feltwinter will do his best to try to catch them on the rotate back, and despite their slow pace up the stairs, they still come away with most of their HP and utility still intact. Prompted's worse for wear. Rexv finds him. Maybe a second on a Subarctic as well. And now the defense is looking in dire straits. The ace has entered. Raffi's the only one left. He's got a retake. He catches Rexv looking the wrong way. Might find the second. The mark goes out, but Feltwinter's trigger is a bit too fast for the reaction time of the French-Canadian. Mystic take 2 rounds in a row on Clubhouse, and it took Gunner last time, but this time it was a team effort to secure their second.
Gunner definitely hyping up the comms right now as he is hyping up the chat that literally no one is reading. That's so nice. Okay, so here's the thing. PDHM, they're gonna need to go somewhere else. It is gonna be gym bedroom, not basement, which is interesting. That's one thing. Problem with what PDHM are doing right now is that they're just getting caught off by Mystic. Mystic are not doing anything special. They're really just like doing the exact same thing that they have been. They've been playing defaults. They've been very standard. They haven't been going out of their way to do something ridiculous, and it's working against PDHM. And that's the thing that makes Mystic so magical, is that they don't really change much in their playstyle, but their gun skill, it is terrifying. Terrifying. Whitlock, Fel, and Gunner, all exceptional fraggers. Tack on the fact that Rexv is also putting up numbers, and that's kind of what you've got going for Mystic. Again, not running anything out of the ordinary. They're doing their own thing. PDHM are battling against a team that isn't outstratting them, they're simply out-peaking them. And that either is at the fault of PDHM for not recognizing their faults and not recognizing their positioning, or it's just Mystic are simply better. And Mystic are simply winning those gunfights that PDHM are not.
We'll see who wins gunfights. I imagine we'll see at least one more engagement from Gunner, but also Rexv so far. He hasn't had much fear on the Maverick, either just walking into sight or taking advantage of some pretty solid positioning on his part. He's going toe-to-toe with Gunner right now. It's only 2 rounds in, but still 5 and 4 for a second entry and support, respectively. Gotta hand it to him when he is doing well. Now, this go-around, they will have to tackle the defense head-on once again, as they have previously, but this time the roam will be in their face, and Gunner will swat it down like a fly buzzing in front of his face. Even drops the LMAO in chat for how easy that was. You can see the ping right on his camera. He tried to pre-fire through that wall, and now Wav is a goner. Opening pick going in favor of the attack, though he falls soon after. Able to be revived because he got dropped at garage window. Subarctic still on red. Can't secure it because of the angle and the fact that you cannot shoot over that window. Bullets cannot curve. We're not in any sort of sci-fi movie. But he is pretty alone right now on this roam inside of Red Hallway and CC. Might have some support, but still. 5 members of the defense who so far have been shooting straight, all prepared to barrel down onto you. I don't envy the Wamai right now.
Bomb has been located.
Here comes Rexv on the Maverick as well. Gonna see if they can add on some pressure. And Gunner being alive is just one of those small things that's really gonna hurt PDHM. Gunner's a strong fragger given any circumstance, and he can win rounds for you. He can certainly win rounds. Felt's looking like he wants to make his way up main. Even if he doesn't make it up, the fact that he's even just like pressuring this in general is certainly going to hurt PDHM, and it might even go as far as to force a rotate out of this area. Subarctic is still alive in cash, and honestly, it's kind of confusing that he's even just like kind of sitting here. Cash is very quiet in terms of Mystic. They aren't really pushing this, and Felt, he's going to start to make his way up main. However, Drone has been spotted. That might show Felt winner away. He'll take the headshot onto Rafi and get himself inside of the site. Now pushing the smoke, and he'll get the double kill. As Subarctic is also doing work, he's going to need to do a lot more now as Gunner takes him down. Mystic take round number 3, and interesting from Mystic, they completely ignore this cash control and only use it for this sort of late kill onto Subarctic. Other than that, though, Mystic just pushed main, and they just pushed Jacuzzi, and it works out.
Managed to find their way up main, catch the attackers off guard. It's a risky play to be sure, but they caught the player inside of logistics lacking, not as weary of the angle, or hey, maybe just Feltwinter peeked him too fast, and online gunfights being the way they are, wasn't able to react in time, and the Ash moved in quick enough to take the rest of the defense off guard. And once they did deal with WAV, who was part of that red CC cache extension, they were content to just, hey, let's contain him. We know where he is. He's not going anywhere, because if he does, we'll kill him. We're watching all the requisite angles. Hey, Felt, a couple other people go up in Jacuzzi wall. Felt, you specifically go up main stairs, scope it out. And if you feel like you can make a play, go for it. We'll just distract over on CCTV. We'll make them think this is where we're clearing, and then before they even have a chance to react, make the play up, catch them off guard, and boom, round done and dusted. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the entry player gets shut down, and if that's the case, that kind of push doesn't work. But Mystic so far, in the past 3 rounds, have shown they're able to get the kill when necessary, to find the frags when possible. And they don't seem like they're, at any time, willing to stop.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I saw someone in chat say, Gunner's dead, they lose this round. Never mind.
They did not lose that round.
That is literally just Mystic summed up, pretty much. Right then and there, in that message.
Oh, his Gunner's dead. Not gonna have... Oh, never mind.
I see you kill hungry. I understand, man. But, like, you're just wrong. I'm sorry.
He said never mind. He acknowledged his mistake.
I
admire a man with humility. Oddly enough, that a man with humility has the name Kill Hungry, but the irony is not lost on me.
Gotta stop bullying the man. Well, Felt winner takes down EXO.
Hey, Gunner didn't get the opening pick though.
He did not. That is the first time this entire round, this entire game, that he's not gotten the opening pick. Felt winner gets it instead. Congratulations, Felt winner. And on to EXO, who has been, well, unlucky, we'll say.
Yeah, 0-4. Call that unlucky. 0-3 for prompted. I would also call that unlucky. I would call a lot of what's going on unlucky right now. Specifically PDHM, just in general. Mystic, whatever momentum was missing on Villa, it is here for Clubhouse, and it is especially here for Gunner. Finds the second as well, right at the tail end of his mag. He's got to do the full reload after that one, but that's a sheesh-worthy shot, if I do say so myself. I'm very apt in putting that one in chat. And PDHM, what do you know? Their main problem the past 3 times has been not shutting down the aggressive play and succumbing to the entries. Running up main stairs, probably not the best play you could have done there, prompted. You're 0-4 and well-deserved after that one. And Subarctic finds himself in a 1v5 and likely a flawless round. Never mind, catches Whitlock off guard, but Zeno does the same in turn. I think Zeno might be 2-0 right now, by the way. Whitlock might drop the question mark, but Mystic certainly dropping L's right now because they're going up 4-0.
Mystic doing exactly what what PDHM did literally last map. It is 0-4, except Mystic are actually on attack. So really, is that deja vu? We're bringing this bit back. It's been a while.
Is it deja vu?
I think it's deja vu.
I think it might be deja vu.
Is it deja vu?
I don't know what it is. You know what it's not? PDHM's round. Or game. And at this rate series, depending on how this is going, not to say they don't have a chance. PDHM are a very good team. Not going to take that away from them. They looked very strong on Villa, and even on Oregon, where they did end up losing, there were still some glimmers of hope in their style of play, but this is certainly the weakest they have looked the entire series. Stands in stark contrast to map 2, and it's the strongest that Mystic have been. Also the strongest Gunner has been, who cannot deny his impact on the game so far. I don't know. I mean, overall, like, Clubhouse is moving a bit more attacker-sided, but not this attacker-sided. Certainly not this attacker-sided.
Not sure what's going on with this this tac pause. But
Regaining the thoughts, I hope. Collecting the knowledge that is required to stop the enigma that is Gunner R6 on Twitter. Gunner.mys in game.
I thought it was like at Gunner. I thought it was Gunner _R6.
I actually have no idea. Let me fact check that right now. That's Gunner _R6.
Got you, Gunner. Can't be slandering the name like that.
Anime profile pic, to be expected. Same color scheme as Darkrai from Pokemon, but we'll let that one slide. I actually like Darkrai. I don't know why I said that. Actually, hold on. I think actually Lava has a Darkrai profile pic, so I'm not gonna slander him too much. I'm a Sinnoh region. I can't say that word on Twitch, unfortunately. I was going to say I'm a big fan of the Sinnoh region.
I don't know what's going on. I don't think this was a player pause. This might be a tac pause.
Maybe.
Whatever it is.
Either way,
it's
they
a
get time to
pause.
talk. They get time to talk,
they do.
so that's the point.
That's the thing about like both of these teams. Mental does play a big factor.
Yeah. I mean, especially a player like Gunner. I mean, he was notorious in RSA for being cocky enough to just ego peak every single team, even like PogChamp to a certain extent, Wichita Oblivion certainly. So, not surprised that, he's doing really well right now, clearly feeling himself. But I also don't think attack pulse will be enough to stop his momentum. Maybe you disagree. But also at the same time, I mean, it's been, 2 rounds of CC, 1 round of gym, 1 round of basement, none of them particularly close. Do you think PDHM have, like, a solid chance, or is it a thumbs down?
Thing about every series that I've seen so far today, especially because I've been casting, like, since the beginning of the stream, is that usually whenever you take a convincing lead, it stays that way, and we haven't seen a comeback yet. Not exactly. We saw one comeback, and I believe it was Oregon of last series, but it was a 2-4 split. But whenever it comes to convincing splits, like 5-1s that we've seen 3 times today now, and could be seeing a 4th? No. Yes, 3 times today. We've seen it 3 times today, and every time that it has been a 5-1, it's been won by the team that was up 5. So it's very unlikely, statistically speaking, but PDHM are about to be down 5-1 if they can't continue to pummel away at Mystic. So we'll find out if this is a different case.
I hope so. Not gonna lie, it'd be kind of an odd series if it went 7-3, like 7-3, and then another one. Just dominant game from one, dominant game from another, dominant game to wrap it up. It would feel kind of odd, but hey, you know what? It's fun seeing a new kind of score line. I don't know. I'm just sad for Prompted through this whole thing. Started good. Didn't do as well the second map because his team was showing up. And now not only is his team not showing up, his stats aren't either. Justice for my boy. I've never met Prompted, but Sure, he's a good guy. Sure, he's a good guy.
10 seconds remaining.
Seems like a solid individual. He did. Yeah. Didn't he do like a maid cosplay stream?
What?
He did like a cosplay stream, I think.
Attacker's objective is to locate a
He
bomb.
did?
I don't know, probably. I think so. I heard it. Yeah, he put on a tank top. So we just got word. Crop top, sorry.
Oh my God.
Verme made sure to pop in my ear and specify that it was in fact a crop top and not a tank top.
I also heard that.
It's an important part of the story.
Truly incredible. Thank you, Verme.
Riveting.
So, PDHM. Again, on this back foot. Can't be understated.
A bomb has been located.
This is going to be nothing shy of tough. Or PDHM is Gunner. Well, he's been involved in many opening kill situations, but he was just about an inch away from being opening death. No one on PDHM at the moment can capitalize from this, however, he is going to live through this. Last time we saw him on 25 HP, he literally didn't slow down at all. God knows what he could do.
Well, we brought back up, so that's a boon for the side of Mystic. Whitlock also on Gunner. Nah, that was... Let me try that one again. Whitlock on Buck. See, Gunner used to play Buck quite often on maps like Villa. That's why I got that crossed on my head. Whitlock on Buck. Gonna be excellent for the attacking team. One, because Whitlock is a good player. Him on Buck is never a bad thing. But also you get a fair bit of soft destruction. You can use those nades on Rexavy on the Maverick. Sure, you won't have as much, say, if you brought a sledge. But a Buck will usually offer you more soft destruction, and if you wanted to, you could do bottom up as well, but this is also basement, so they'll be looking top down mainly. Appears a kitchen dirt push is on the menu. One person playing inside of dirt on the side of PDHM, waiting for them to make their play. Not sure who that is, but it's certainly not Wav making any plays this go around. Feltwinter finds him, but Raffi's there for the refrag, evens it to a 4v4. But at this point, Ash and Jaeger traded. I'd say it's fairly even. On the side of PDHM, still have 2 C4s, 3 canisters. Unless they monumentally throw, it's shaping up to be PDHM's first.
Like you said.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Subarctic. He's been.
Never mind.
Oh, that's rough. Subarctic has been hitting his C4s, but unfortunately that won't be the one. They're going to bust through Ash Wall here with a Buck, ironically enough, as Gunner takes down Subarctic. At the same time, Mystic are getting choked out by this gas, but Xeno's just in enough to go for this plant, and nothing can stop them. Whitlock, beautiful cover from him, but he's been down by the C4. The plant still will go down, and you still have 2 players upstairs, so this is going to be extremely rough from PDHM, especially from a team that knows exactly where they are. PDHM are not in a position where they can really take this. Prompted is down, and so is Rexaby. Sorry, so is Raffi, as Rexaby claims that kill. And Mystic take round number 5. The attack pause was not enough for PDHM, as Team Mystic are up 5-0. This could be looking really dire here for PDHM, the team that has been the only team in SCS to take a map off of Mystic, and that might have been a one and done.
Remember when I said something had to go catastrophically wrong for PDHM for them to lose that round? Subarctic C4 getting sniped. Sorry. Subarctic C4 getting one-tapped mid-air. I think that qualifies. Quite a bit. There are 3 members, 3 of the 4 members on Mystic stacked at the bottom of main stairs. That's C4 it landed, which I guarantee it would have. That's a PDHM round. Easily. I don't see any remaining member 1v4 clutching. But it didn't land. In fact, it barely made it over the wall because I think it was Gunner, but honestly, I'm not sure who. Whoever it was sniped it midair. Then at that point, it was like, all right, back to work. Whitlock opens up Ash Wall. Xeno follows in behind, gets the plant down. Barely anybody is killed until the plant is already pretty much completed. Then the coverage comes through. It's a 1v4, this time in the favor of Mystic. It's an easy round from there. We're up 5-0 now, and for a round like that, managing to play it that well with so much utility stacked against them in a 4v4, all 4 defenders still on the site, I have confidence they can come away with this 6-1.
5 seconds to go.
Well, as I've said, basically every single map this cast so far, and it still holds continuity. PDHM have a lot of work cut out for them, and nothing changes here. Clubhouse as a decider has not been the map that we expected, and we thought it was going to be close. Simply is not. Subarctic, gotta be careful. You might find yourself an opening kill.
All right.
But an opening death is on the docket for Subarctic, who was stunning, but no longer is. Has not been having the best of performances this game so far. Albeit, he's actually doing the best for his team, minus Raffi. They're both tied on kills. Not anymore, however, as Gunner, usually finding a pick from this position, instead dies. That is a really interesting change of pace here from PDHM, considering that in most cases they have died from this position more times than they can count. But we do have a change up. PDHM. They'll at least get a refrag onto probably the strongest player on Clubhouse so far for Mystic.
Probably the strongest player, without question the strongest player. I mean, Feltwinter has also been doing really well on that entry, but Gunner 10-2 right now. I mean, he was like, what, 5-1 by round 3? He's been doing incredibly well. Feltwinter also now moving to a flank watch position, watching the Jaeger inside of blue, and despite the low HP, the shots don't land from the Jaeger, and he's able to get away with highway robbery, finding the headshot and moving PDHM into the man disadvantage in a 3v4. Now, that isn't to say PDHM are in dire straits. Feltwinter certainly is, now on 1 HP. PDHM still have garage control, still firm control over the site. Don't have a smoke, so that's a bit worrying. They only have a C4 to truly deny the plant, and the bottom is in the favor of Mystic right now, so going for a C4 from below isn't exactly the most likely of situations. it's not unwinnable for PDHM. If they play their cards right, they certainly can come away with it. But Mystic are slowly constricting the defense in and around the bomb site. It's only a matter of time before they execute. Looking like it's going to be from construction, so that makes the C4 from prompted a bit easier. But I don't know. Mystic have won 5 rounds in a row at this point with much less map control. It's hard for me to say PDHM have a solid chance.
3 versus 3. EXO was able to find Felt. Like you said, this is the best chance that they've had at this moment. Right now, PDHM are looking pretty good. Give EXO another here as he takes down Rexaby in the same time. Losing your nades for this execute is going to be really tough. And Whitlock goes down as well. I think that's to EXO. Might he go for 4 as Zeno is the last player remaining? He's damaged. EXO looking for something. He'll actually res Whitlock. So it's going to be a 2 versus 3. C4 by prompted, however. It won't deal any damage. Somehow both players survive. And Zeno's in for the plant. But his location is very well known. Prompted takes down Whitlock. He's looking for a second and give it to him. PDHM take round number 6. Like Gunnar said, solid round. Not for the side of Mystic, however. It's going to be a 5-1. The third 5-1 of today.
Yeah, just as I said, I didn't think PDHM had a solid chance. EXO was there to prove me wrong. Putting up a superhuman effort at the very end there. Just sitting inside a CCTV, right on the server rack. Got 2 kills just standing in that position. Would have gotten a third if Whitlock had not been res, but at the very least put him on the floor and stopped any potential chance of a clutch in its tracks on the side of Mystic. But again, it's still a 5-1 half. Clubhouse defense might not be the same as it was, but it's still a, not terrible to defend on many sites on this map. Mystic, they'll started off with an SSG roam and an extension, and that's probably a good idea considering their main key strength on their attack was their aggression and their ability to find the kills when necessary. Gunnar, Feltwinter, 10-2, 7-3 respectively. That's enough said about that. If you want to bring out a roam, making sure that those 2 players are alive and either allowed to get their kills or to be as much of a pain in the neck for Mystic or for PDHM as possible, that's going to be the name of the game. Right now, Gunner's on a treadmill, so I'll have a rehost on that probably. Don't know. Still has to be called by the admin, of course. But yep, we'll be having a rehost. Unfortunate for Gunner right there, right as I was talking about him, that he was disconnected by the Siege Gods, but sometimes the game tells you no. Sometimes it happens.
It's whatever. So, be back with map number 3, which has been looking very one-sided so far for Team Mystic. Honestly, I'm really shocked. I thought that PDHM would have some sort of resistance, considering that they have had some sort of resistance recently. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we're going to be having that just yet. However, we cannot count them out because, honestly, if anything, right now, Team Mystic are just looking good. Simply just looking better than PDHM. PDHM, they had a really stunning showing on that villa, especially taking that map that we all thought was going to be a complete Mystic blowout, but times have changed, and unfortunately we haven't had that sort of powerful PDHM ever since.
Oh, we've had that powerful Mystic that we saw in Oregon, even more charged up than previously on map number 1. I mean, the name of the game for all 3 maps has been aggression, who can either get the opening entries or shut the entries down, and that's been the story. Map number 1 is much more successful for Team Mystic. They were able to overwhelm the defense. Let me check, as my memory is faltering a bit sometimes. Yep, it was Mystic that started out on the attack, so they were able to shut down the entries on PDHM much easier than PDHM were able to find ground. Going on to Villa, same thing happened. Defense was able to successfully shut down the entries of both Rexv or whoever happened to be on the Yana, it seemed at times. Except this go around, it's still aggression, but the entries are actually working, and this time in the favor of Mystic on the attacking side. So, still the same concept, being aggressive, fighting and winning those gunfights, but this time it's on the attacking side, favoring Mystic. So, just whoever happens to be feeling the most emotions, the most momentum, seems to be the one that's ending up winning things out. Also helps that you have Gunnar, who rarely misses shots, it seems. That's just an added bonus.
Yep, Gunnar has been looking absolutely phenomenal so far. And I mean, what do you expect out of the IGL secondary entry? I mean, he's always been this player that is just able to make things happen. And even though Zoe is secondary entry, I mean, Gunnar has just been involved with a lot of opening gunfights, and he's been involved with so many of Mystic's round victories just due to the fact that he's able to frag out. And the round that they lost, just that first round, Gunnar was dead. Gunnar died first. True. Would have guessed. So, PDHM. I mean, it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. Team Mystic, they're gonna have a lot of resistance against this team, but PDHM beat them once. They're the first team in SCS to beat Mystic. They just got to do one more time.
Well, we got everyone back in the lobby right now. We got ours on the side of Mystic. We're just waiting for PDHM. But yeah, as you said, we will just have to see. If you recall, it's a 5-1 half. If you're just tuning in, Mystic currently favored on map number 3, the Decider. And we got the ours from PDHM. We will be getting back into it. If you recall, the site was basement. I assume we will be going back there on the side of Mystic. And the question for this round is going to be, can Mystic keep up the aggression? Or in the timeout, will PDHM be able to regain some of that momentum?
Momentum. It's not a blanket statement. It exists. I will battle the Cillian. Like, it is an actual thing. And it seriously can pain teams. If you don't have that momentum, if things are working against you, it's going to show. It's going to show in your mental. It's going to show in the way that you play. And you have to be very careful. Vermeer's screaming bloody murder. I think we're good, though.
We all got a bit scared every now and then. We're all good.
Oh,
we are
SSG
all good.
room.
SSG room. EXO thanking Ferme for the stats getting reset. Gunnar unhappy about it. Gunnar not happy his stats were reset. Understandably, he was 10-2, so like, that's pretty good stats. I'd like them to be on the end of the scoreboard, but they won't be because it is a rehost. But hey, it's kind of nice that the rehost happened at the half. So now all the stats here are for all 6 rounds. It's kind of nice in a way. Trying to look on the bright side here. We also don't have rehosts that often anymore, so like, I mean, that in and of itself is a bright side.
Oh my god. I just noticed something. Do you Snapchat often, Links?
No, not at all.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll just be speaking to dead air. I'll do it anyway. Apparently the Bitmojis now show up on your Snapchat notifications, which is absolutely terrifying. I checked my phone.
Did you see Gunnar there?
No. But I saw a Bitmoji and it absolutely terrified me. I did not know that they could do that. But anyway, PDHM gonna start to work their way in, doing the default stuff. You're gonna have EXO rotate away on the roof and get himself in line with prompted to open up this wall. Nothing of the sort, nothing out of the ordinary for them so far. Question is, what is next? What is the next step here from PDHM? Because it looks like they want to get rid of this SSG room from the middle. They want to cut this in half, judging by WAV's current position inside of Strip. And it's not going to be easy for him to really get anything because obviously you have Whitlock playing this top main and Felt playing this rat spot. He is also Vigil, so joining him isn't going to be the easiest of things. I'm wondering if this is going to work, however. Here comes a drone from the Zofia Felt winner. Not going to pop his thing. Not going to pop his Vigil scan, and all of a sudden he's spotted out. I'm not sure if he realizes. Is he AFK?
He's just chilling. He's just chilling.
I guess he's just chilling.
Don't mess up his vibe right now. He's chilling.
I can't wait.
He's sitting on the
WAV
floor.
did it!
Oh yeah, WAV has no idea. WAV has no idea.
No, you're joking, man. You're joking. Felt winner off the mist drone will try and claim his second head here on Rafi. Gonna impact his wall. And the fact that he's even still alive right now is problematic for PDHM. That is uncanny. That is unbelievable. We literally saw the drone jump on him. And it didn't work out. Gunnar takes down EXO as well. Oh my, simple mistakes like that, and Phelps even ratting out inside this corner on the toolbox as well. Beautiful shot there by Prompted, however, so they will clear him out. But look at the damage that has been done, not only to the players alive on the side of PDHM, but to the time as well. 23 seconds, they're gonna have to drop Moto, whether they like it or not. Gumine is also going to stop him. Whitlock takes down Raffi, but Prompted gets for the refrag. And Prompted's actually found himself inside a black box. Subarctic takes down Rex. 2 versus 2. Sub, he's gotta cover Prompted, but Gunner takes him down. It's a 1 versus 2. Prompted. Inside of Church. No walls open behind him. He is very much safe inside of Church. They're gonna have to push into him, but the cross from Gunner and Zeno is simply too strong, and even if a kill was had by Prompted, a refrag was also on the board. Mystic are now on match point.
Disabled the diffuser. Defender mission successful.
Unfortunate for WAV. Sometimes you think you drone it. Sometimes you even, by all definitions, drone it well enough. And then either you forget, or, you know, in that 2% chance you miss a defender, you just happen to be the unlucky person falling in that 2% in that given engagement. Obviously, in that case, that was him falling into that 2%. And the Vigil alone just wreaked a lot of destruction upon the attack of PDHM, and now they're on match point. Wasn't, you know, and not to say the SSG roam was bad, but it was, you know, that win was not exactly due to the incredible strategy from Mystic. It was just due to an unfortunate oversight from PDHM. It's hard to even call it an oversight because WAV did check that angle or did check that corner. So it's just, I don't even know what to call that. I don't want to call it unlucky. I don't want to call it an oversight though. It's just unfortunate, and you hate to see it, especially when now it's 6-1 and you have to try and win 5 rounds in a row to try to secure overtime. Clubhouse might be more attacker-sided, but it's not that attacker-sided, and PDHM have struggled on so many aspects that are shared between both the defense and the offense that winning 5 rounds in a row, even with Jim Bedroom being the first, I just don't see it. I just do not see it.
10 seconds remaining.
This is gonna be rough, Lynx. This is gonna be really rough.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
It's not great. By the way, did you know that on the side of Mystic, the only people that have gotten the opening kill for their team has been Gunner and Feltwinter?
Every single time?
Every single time. It's been Gunner or Feltwinter.
Kind of makes sense, to be fair. Whitlock has kind of like...
First and second entry, in theory. Yeah, that does make sense.
Whitlock has definitely taken a little less aggressive stance from what we're used to. He's always been out of the 3 out of that trio of Felt, Whitlock, and Gunner. He has been, you know, sort of the most laid back, the most patient. But we're literally just... Whitlock is very patient right now. Like, it is uncanny. Right now, he is just so... He's silent but deadly, if that makes sense. You know, we don't see him making big plays, but he is just... always so important here. Rexavy! Well, so far this entire game, whoever gets OD'd or opening death, they have lost the round. And if that's a sign for anything, it is that Mystic are on top right now. And they are on top of things in the best way possible. WAV is gone. And even our reaction basically equals his. We kind of know that this is the bell ringing. This is the fat lady singing. And this might or might not be the end for PDHM's playoff run in the winner's bracket. They did take a map off of Mystic, and they're also in a 4 versus 5, so let's not discount them just yet. They have something up their sleeve. As you can see, Raffi is playing bottom main. Let's see if we can make something of this.
They'll open Jacuzzi wall as well. And hey, for a gym defense, it's not bad, especially if Prompt is just going to brazenly work into bathroom. He finds one, but Gunner's there for the refrag. And that entry that seemed like it might be so successful, well, it's been stopped in its tracks, and Gunner will even start to push back and take ground away from them. Finds the head of Exo, and now it's just Raffi below and Subarctic in a 2v4. Gunner knows one's there. Flick spots the head. It's a triple for him, and Subarctic's got to get 4. He finds 1 at the very least, but on 25, 3 more. That's a tall task. He gets Gunner on the way back in. Now things are a bit more even. Still a C4 on the side of Feltwinter, and not a lot of health on the side of the Ace. He'll have to use one of his smoke grenades to disable the Aruni. There's one right around the corner inside of Logistics. A hole opened, but not an angle exposed. Rexby knows that he's inside a con. because of the AK-12 singing out from inside that area. Beltwinner just hard right around the corner. Second smoke used to open it. Pre-fire out, doesn't land anything, and in fact, it's just given away his position and given away the game. Beltwinner fells the Ace and Mystic. A 7-1 victory on Club. A dominant game, all 3 maps. They might have lost the 1 map, but they still have not dropped a series, and they defeat PDHM and move forward to the semifinals.
What a way to end us off here. Even though PDHM were the first and only team to take a map off of Mystic in this entire season, they weren't able to finish the job. Team Mystic. Still the favorites in this entire league. Still the favorites in playoffs. They'll go to face Biblioteca. It's going to be a very daunting challenge for Biblioteca to overcome this absolute titanic team that has 7-1 PDHM. Stunning performance from Team Mystic. We're done here, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 and Game 2 have flied by. It was a 2-0 on the side of Biblioteca, beating Aerial Arise. And while PDHM looked to have some sort of upset going for them, it was all for naught. A 2-1 in favor of Team Mystic.
And good on them as well. Dominant performance all the way through. We thought it was going to be a dominant series on Oregon. Not so much on Villa. But at the end, they proved that's why they're number 1.
Exactly, and it seems like we're setting up the storyline now. Biblioteca in the semifinals now up against Team Mystic. Only one team's going to come out on top there to go to the grand finals from there. And I mean, let's put the predictions right now. Team Mystic versus Biblioteca. Carter, you seemed a little hesitant on Biblioteca. You want to walk us through that real quick?
Yeah, I've never been a betting man. I've also never been a man to take risks. You can call that a fault. You can call that caution. Depends on your perspective on life, I suppose. But when it comes to Mystic versus Biblioteca, not going to take anything away from Biblioteca's win. 2-0 against Aerial Arise with a lot of talent on that roster is impressive. But it also seemed like a weakened Aerial Arise. I'm not entirely sold on their run yet. But then again, it was a dominant win, so maybe we might see them take a map off. But as I hinted at earlier, I'm still going to side with Mystic, especially with how strong they look today against Challenger League caliber opponents, even though PDHM obviously not going to show off much due to their placement in CL at the moment, but still, with how strong Mystic have been, and still Biblioteca kind of being unproven in my mind as a new roster, I'm siding with Mystic at least ahead of the game.
And keep in mind, too, that's not the whole story right there. There are so many other teams in the lower end of the bracket, too, that we have to see go up against each other in the contest that final semi-final spot. So only could be 2 teams that come out on top for the upper bracket finals. Of course, from there, all the way until the very end, the grand finals. But that is such a ways away that we don't have to worry about that tonight because we've seen fantastic victories for 2 different teams. And unfortunately, 2 others had to go home. But Adam, when it comes down to it, are you in the same boat as Carter between Biblioteca and Team Mystic?
Yeah. I'm definitely on the side with Carter. I mean, Team Mystic, they look really good right now. They have just blown everyone away. I think that they are literally the favorites, and the only team that we haven't seen them play yet that is also looking like the favorites, Aggro. Aggro are going to be the team that might be the linchpin. I predict that it's going to be an Aggro Mystic Grand Finals. You can quote me on that because these are 2 of the strongest teams. They have been convincing in their groups. Mystic looking unstoppable, but they have bled today. And that's something we haven't seen them do for the past 5 series that they played in.
All that for a drop of blood.
I was literally thinking the same quote.
Yeah.
Literally thinking the same damn quote.
Me too.
I mean, look, Adam says himself, all the Infinity Stones trying to be collected. Not going to happen today. But let's take a look at that third map, and let's take a look at all the stats combined for the entire series and see how much a single map off through this one and only that can actually affect Team Mystic here. And
that might be the highest rating.
That might be the highest.
That might be the highest.
Right. Let's see if we can get confirmation on that, because a 2.16. Holy moly. Adam, have you ever seen anything like that before?
Nope. And who better than Gunner to do it? Probably one of the most outstanding and overaccomplished players in T3 right now. Absolutely crazy performance here from him, and I would say that he was basically one of the main reasons Mystic even won anything so far.
Oh, wait till you find out who we have to interview now.
Oh boy.
No.
Have fun with that.
It's gonna be Mr. 2.16 himself. We have Gunner on the line momentarily, and
hello,
Gunner. 2.16 for your rating through that entire series.
I wasn't
Isn't that
gonna lose to
insane?
them. Yeah,
Holy, I'm sorry, for that last match, we're getting some confirmation now. It's only from the last map, but in itself, that's insane.
Yeah, no, I started talking shit, so like I had to like back it up. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Fair
gonna
enough.
lose that series.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've seen Team Mystic kind of in a vulnerable spot. You guys lose map number 2, you won 1, you lost 2, you came back on map number 3, but that second map loss was the only time this entire league that's actually happened. What was the mindset going to map number 3 like?
I mean, today was just really good overall, like mindset wise. Everyone's just kind of like, especially me, like I've been working on myself and like. We played terrible on Villa. It's not gonna happen again, but we went into map 3 just saying we're gonna dominate the fuck out of them, and it's what happened.
Fair enough. Now, I'm sure we can expect Biblioteca may want to play Villa next time in the semifinals. Are you guys going to prepare for Villa?
Yeah, we have some stuff up our sleeve. You know, we kind of slacked today, but it won't happen again.
Fair enough. I mean, again, that's only one map out of the entire season so far, and that is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. Now, with Gunnar, you are probably, I would say right now, the T3 player. When it comes to ratings, almost no one has beaten you out because of that. What sets you apart from everyone else in the T3 community?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like with T3, like everyone has good aim. Everyone like. I feel like to set yourself apart in T3, you have to go like above and beyond Ashton Yeager and kind of just have like a general understanding of the game. Because like right now, I mean, I've worked on shot calling. I try to play a lot of ops. So like, I just play the game a lot. You know, I just play the game.
How
a lot.
many
And
hours?
just, God, like in general, like in all.
Yeah, in general.
I think like 6,000, 7,000.
I wonder if someone can do behind the scenes can do the math for us and see how many days or in a year 6,000 hours goes into. That's absolutely wild. But I mean, I'm sure there's other players out there that want to really, go up to you. Oh, it's 150 days worth.
250.
215 days, excuse me. We just got confirmation behind the days. It's one of those, it's around that number. They keep changing the numbers on me behind the scenes. But that's insane, Gunnar. So many days, and look what the result is. You are probably the best player not in Challenger League right now. But here's my big question for you, one of the last ones. Is there any other player inside of SCS right now that may not necessarily scare you, but thinks that they could go toe-to-toe up against the likes of you?
In SCS?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No? That is a bold claim. That is a bold, bold claim, Gunnar. Let's see if you can keep those words up going up against Biblioteca. But tonight, you have shown yourself once again. This is not the first interview. It may not be the last either. But you have fans, you have enemies, you have so many viewers watching right now. What do you have to say to them?
I mean, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate my team like a lot. Like I'm kind of just not the nicest person. I know I said before, but like recently, like together, we've just gone a lot better with the team, and I appreciate everyone that supports us.
We can't wait to see what you can bring out against Biblioteca in the semifinals going up next week. Thank you so much, Gunnar. It's been a pleasure as usual.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now we're going to be returning back to the casters. Hello, Adam. Hello, Carter. 2.16, Team Mystic almost going flawlessly up until the very end of SCS, but they dropped one map. Do you think that's going to be a common thing we see going forwards? Are they going to keep dropping more maps as they go forwards towards the end, Carter?
I mean, dropping more maps, I would hope so. I mean, it's not like we're running best of ones, best of twos. Generally, they're that middle ground. The better team should come out on top. But dropping more maps in SCS, as they go on, they'll start to reveal more and more of what they have up their sleeve and also have more and more time to work on things. So will we continue to see them drop maps? I'm not entirely sure. I assume they probably might drop one in the final, but I don't know. They look hot, especially in the maps that they won. So maybe we can just, in the future, chalk Villa up to one bad game. Because even in the 2 maps they won, sure, the series said 2-1, but that was a Mystic game, even when they were losing, it felt.
And to keep putting it forwards, historically speaking, I don't think any other league in Siege has had a team go as flawlessly as they had so far. But Adam, you saw Biblioteca in front of your own eyes today. You casted them in the very first best of 3. How are the semifinals going to go when we see them next week?
Well, Biblioteca definitely surprised me today, especially with their upset over Aerial Arise. Now, you can chalk that up to Aerial being bad or to Biblioteca being good. I would say both. Aerial didn't look as good as we used to see them. It happens. Well, it happens. So, in terms of upsets, Biblioteca, I don't think are the type of caliber of team to beat Team Mystic, and I say that with a heavy heart because I really enjoyed casting them. They have some extremely stunning players. Nicolo, absolutely beautiful plays from him. Helio, stunning, amazing. And Na, of course, always been that consistent player. All three of those players came down together and really helped out Team Mystic, helped out Biblioteca, but I don't know if it's enough to beat Team Mystic. Team Mystic have been looking insane.
Adam.
What?
We didn't talk about the stats very much. So they were on our screen. Gunner went 10-1 on entry today. 10-1.
That he did.
Not only did he go 36-16, 10-1 on entry. Biblioteca, especially after that, that is a scary stat to look at, especially when Gunner is going to be one of the players you're playing against come semifinals.
I mean, that's what happens when you have 6,000 hours played inside Rainbow Six Siege. Luckily, though, 6,000 hours of beautiful effort puts out amazing results, and that's going to be all we have for tonight, everybody. We saw 2 amazing best-of-3s go down, 2 amazing teams go into the semifinals, but that's only half of what we have going up next. Soon, we're going to see what happens between Honor and Smokebreak, Aggro and Bone, all going to pit up against each other very soon, and we have to see what the results are after that. But Adam, Carter, it has been amazing to be with you guys tonight. Of course, James Wills also in the early part tonight. It has been amazing as well. The production, Ferme, everybody behind the scenes as well has been amazing. But that's all we have for tonight on SCS, and we can't wait to see you next time with more amazing action coming through. And have a good night.
A triple kill, but Son of Finn, he'll deny the plant. He sees 2 more kills. Oh my god! Son of Finn will find more!
7 seconds left, they gotta pick up the diffuser, but Tommy lines up both! Tommy with the 1v3!
Device, mission shots, he's gonna have to go for the front. He pushes on through! Dylan is better!
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off, and they all line up for Bone! Grenade out!